That is probably the most sexy thumbnail I've ever seen. I wonder who made that.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
I made it. What was that now? What? I made this. I made this. X-Files. Yes, I need to. You know what? That's gonna be my outro. I'm copywriting that. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Alien Addict on this fine, luxurious evening. It's luxurious because we've just got people. We only have one American on so far. We've got 3 Englishmen and just 1 American, and I'm going to bring that American on right now, even though he's Italian.
What?
Rich,
what do you mean? Even though
you're outnumbered.
I know, it's weird. It's never happened before. It's just unprecedented.
We've got as usual. We've got Lee.
Hey,
hi.
Hi, Lee.
You're gonna have to do that voice all the way through, Rich.
I'll see if I can do it. Do I sound like you?
You sound like you're Australian.
I do. Okay, so maybe I'll be Australian. Put another shrimp on the barbie. Are we live?
Apparently so.
Oh,
yes, we are live.
I thought
this show now.
I know.
We've got UAP UK Josh. Welcome to the show.
Hi, you guys. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me on the show as well. I'm a huge fan of it, so yeah, it's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome, mate. I have always wanted to interview a tennis player.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've already used that joke. Tonight, we're probably going to have a few more guests on, so there might end up being about 8 of us. For all I know, they could just all decide not to come on. I have no idea. We are going to get DarkSKY Files on the show, but he's running a little bit late. He's just messaged me, which I've never met him. Have you met Rich? Rich, have you met Rich?
Yeah, I know the guy.
I've never met him. Is he a cool guy?
He's all right. No, he's good. He's good. He's a good guy, man.
Right.
He's the one who gave me Corbell's number.
Oh, right. How's he get it? That's it. I might ask him.
Oh, yeah. It's a good story.
It's a good story. And we're getting the Osvaldo, the Franco.
Oh, really?
On at some point, yeah.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
Well, I said this to you, Rich, I've always kind of wanted to have that healthy debate about the kind of UFO split. Stephen, I saw Stephen first. Is it Stephen Cambion? I saw him on your show. I invited him last minute, and it was last minute notice, but he does some good work as well. So I did want to get him on, but there's somebody else at Dark Hour is going to pop on if he can as well. So I think we've got a good show tonight. But even if they don't, I'm happy with this 4.
It's all good anyway. Yeah, it's all good anyway, for sure. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'd be happy with this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna swap you to there, Rich.
Why is that?
Because because people need to know that I'm Alien Addict. You know, there we go.
There you go.
See?
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it says GUFON right behind me.
Always thinking.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Rich, what do you think to Josh's name?
Say what? What do I think about his name?
His name, yeah. UAP. You
mean like the UAP bit, yeah?
No, no. What do you think to Josh? What do you think to the name Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's what I thought you meant. Oh. It's I've come around to the UAP.
Is it growing on you?
No, I mean I'm gonna like it as much as I'm gonna like it. Enough that I'll say it. Yeah, enough that I won't say it twice in a row, but I'll say it.
Osvaldo Franco, welcome, my friend.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
You are looking beautiful. I'm loving the slick back hair.
Thank you.
And the lens flare is beautiful. Yep.
Yeah, I'm ascending.
Oz, I don't know if you'll have probably seen UAP UK you're together on Insta, so you do your Instagrammy stuff. I don't understand Instagram. I'm trying to, and Twitter. But yeah,
You're a TikToker now as well, aren't you?
Yeah, TikTok as well.
Me too.
I've got an account. I made one.
It's so fun.
I don't know what to do on it.
Just talk for 30 seconds. That's it.
I think you should absolutely do the dances.
I thought what I'd do. Yeah, I thought I'd do some fun stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe me playing with my nipples or something like that. Maybe drawing an alien on my nipple and then filming it. Or don't know. A Sigourney Weaver moment with the alien head coming there, but just having my wife breathing in my face, going like, ah! I have no idea. Something along them lines. A little bit of jest, but yeah, I don't understand it.
Once you start doing it, it gets easier.
Okay.
You'll be like, oh, that was easy. And then you watch it. And then I'm surprised how many views you get at this platform. I've only got like 54 followers. Already had 1,100 on one, 700 on another. I'm like, this is not bad.
Just realized I don't have the comments up.
Subs have gone up.
Rich, I've seen you did a TikTok the other day and it's got like, is it nearly 2,000 views now?
I don't know. I think like 1,100.
Your lady friend, Josh, has just given me some money. How does that make you feel that your missus is paying me?
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that pissed him off.
He's gone.
That's right.
Thank you, Artemis. He'll be back, I'm sure. He's probably just lost connection.
Oh.
But yes, Artemis, he is a very handsome man. You're right. She told me he was a handsome guy.
Yeah, once a woman says it.
It's going to be interesting, the conversation that we'll probably get onto it about, towards the end of the show when we rabbit about bullshit for a little bit. But when we get down to the nitty gritty, that's what I wanted to get into when Josh comes back. There he is. What's going on with the field? And there is definitely a divide. We've been talking about this divide for quite some time, Rich. And we've been talking about it, just back and forth messaging each other and saying that there's a problem. But there's been a problem with the field quite some time. And I'm not saying that anybody's to blame for this, but there is definitely a divide. And I was thinking about this the other day. It's not even 2 divides. I think it's 3 or 4 divides. There's divides everywhere.
It really is. Yeah. I was gonna say that. It's like 5. That's the thing. You got different people making different claims, saying different things, and that's why we have so many different opinions.
Yeah.
You understand? So yeah, and people are really like, they get annoyed really quick, I've noticed lately. We've always had people, questioning each other in this field since day one, but lately with this quadruple divide of people and opinions, it's getting intense.
Oz, can I ask you a favor, my friend? Do you mind just muting your microphone until you want to speak? Because you got that little that noise.
And Ollie, you said you had something you want to, there was a rule or something we had tonight?
Oh, yeah. So the rule that we've got is when we've got replies, when we're generally talking about stuff or somebody's asking a question, try and keep the responses to about 60 seconds. Let them speak. Don't go on to a tangent on your own. That goes for everybody, including me, just because there might be quite a few people joining the show. So I just want to keep it under control and let everybody take their part. Josh, I want to come over to you down here because you're new to the channel. So I kind of want to introduce you. You've not got a YouTube channel as yet. You have.
Well, I've got one. There's just no stuff on there at all. Yeah, there's just no stuff on there yet. But I've got one.
I've popped it in the description, so it's there, and cool. all your other stuff is in there. Is it Instagram and what have you? So go check. And your drawings, by the way, I'm a big fan of art. They're amazing.
Well, they're my mum's. So it's my mum who does all that.
Right.
So she's kind of got back into art. Well, she was an artist like years ago. She got into it years ago, and then like just life, and then she didn't really do it for a while. Then it was only when I got into like the UFO stuff she kind of got inspired again, and that's why she's doing all like the UFO art and things. So really cool.
She's drawing very good alien abductions. They look like reliving moments. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
Little
it's really
sketches. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
What got you into this field? Because you have a very new name in the field. I don't mean that with no disrespect, but with the word UAP in the title of your name, and you do mainly Instagram and Twitter. But what got you into the field originally, and how long have you been in it for?
Mate, I can't even say really. I mean, the main thing what got me into it, I was in primary school, so I would have been like 8 or 9. So like for you guys in the States, it would have been like grade 3, I guess. And I got a book from the library at the time. It was like a picture book, and it just had pictures of UFOs in there and pictures of aliens and stuff. And since reading that, I've kind of been hooked on it. But I was obviously too young at the time to use the internet, and it was like dial-up as well. It wasn't like Wi-Fi and things now. It was like dial-up internet. So it's really hard to research. So it was only when I got into my teens, really, so about 13 or 14, I really started to research a lot of cases. Like the main one was obviously like the Roswell case, and you had like the Rendlesham Forest case as well. Those were like the two what I really got into at the time. And then I started going into like the ancient alien stuff as well. I read Chariots of the Gods and things. And it's just kind of like went on from there really. So I've just, since my teens really, I've just been trying to learn as much as I can, and research as many cases and just try and learn everything about the topic. That's why I like the name UAP. I know it's a bit of a controversial name. It doesn't sound as good as like UFO, for example, but I think UAP it's kind of like an umbrella term for all of like the phenomena, if that makes sense. So that's kind of why I like that, definitely.
Well, you inspired me with my thumbnail that took me quite a few few hours to create it.
Sorry, I said, what about underwater UFOs? UAP doesn't fit there. Gotcha.
Well, that's true. That's very true. You've got me there, Rich, for sure. You've got me there.
Yeah, don't forget space.
Yeah.
Space,
and space too. Yeah.
I don't like the term, man. UAP is Latinx for ufology. I'm not a yapologist. Sorry.
But we won't hold it against you, Josh. I don't care. You could call yourself Batman for all I care. I care about what you say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly, mate. That's it.
That's what matters.
I would love someone to call himself Batman and come on the show.
That'd be the best.
Ufology Batman, like Toronto Batman.
That's got a ring to it. That Ufology's Batman.
We'll definitely just have to have we'll just get a Batman costume, like swear to me, and then talk about UFOs.
Oh my God,
it'll be a hit.
It would be.
That's just like the greatest idea.
No, like I say, they have UFO Jesus. I was gonna do UFO Jesus is black, but it's like a parody. But
that's brilliant.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm a funny cat. I just don't show it here.
That would be interesting.
I've just had a genius idea. My auntie, she's into textiles and stuff. She used to have her own shop. She's going to make me a bat suit, but it's not going to have a bat on it. It's going to have a big UFO there.
Oh, cool.
That sounds really cool, yeah.
Like the Sparts model.
You like that, Stephen?
It would have to be.
Yes.
He looks like he has jaundice.
He does.
He has. He did at that point for that
Not
picture.
very healthy to adopt him.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the idea was trying to get his skin to match Homer's, but
yeah, no. He looks like he had got something contaminated at a salad bar or something.
It's the nuclear site.
So yeah, we would. The divide seemed. I mean, I know the divide has gone on for quite some time, guys. But
no, the divide is 70 years old. It's not new. It's just newer factions. That's all. Things that were larger groups are now smaller groups. The same thing that you're seeing in society.
I'd agree with that, but I think recently more than anything, it's a bit poisonous out there.
It's toxic now. Yeah, it's really toxic. It's really toxic. Yeah.
I say toughen up. Ufology's always been rough. It's just going to get rougher. I'd say it's not for everybody.
No.
You got to really want to do this.
Yeah, you have to have passion.
That's true.
I'm saying, man, it's like I'm saying. I use this analogy a lot. Get used to this idea. You are now a part of an oppressed minority. This is a ghetto. Your back is to the wall. People don't want to serve you. They don't want to talk to you. All right? And you have to defend yourself against other people that are here. Welcome to ufology. This is what it is. It's what it's always been. This is tough. Any academic field is tough.
What's tough about it, Osvaldo?
Oh, just dealing with the people and the egos. There's quite a few intelligent people in this field. Doesn't mean you agree with them all.
No, it sounds like you're talking nonsense, though, just to make it sound like better than it is.
Better?
No,
it's
made it worse.
You're not getting what I'm saying at all.
No, I am.
Once again, dude, you're missing the point. There's no hyping. This is like, dude,
He wasn't hyping it.
Sucks. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying hooray. Like, I accept the beast for what it is. I'm not going to be able to defang this thing, and neither are you. And attempts to do so are foolhardy. But not only that, in those margins, that's where mediocrity lives. There's a reason why we do this. Yeah. It has to be rough.
Why?
Now, do you understand?
No, but nothing ever gets sorted out with that.
Dude, yeah, no, it does. Things do get sorted out over time, though. As the only way that those things ever get resolved. Again, this is the scientific community is very much like this. It's not all polite people singing kumbaya. Dude, there are factions. There's people that are angry at each other with good reason. Like the string theorists don't like the dark matter guys so much. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, you don't know what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't want us to get het up over it, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be an adult discussion. This, and we are discussing it, and I think everybody's entitled to have. I think Oz, you're totally entitled to have your opinion on this. You know, you think you're right, Lee. You know, I can't do this whole left-right thing, but you have, you know, your views. Rich, I mean, you were on my show last time with Wreaking Havoc, and you said a couple of things on there. He didn't like it, and you know, I'm friends with John, but Rich, I mean, didn't actually say anything bad to John. All he said was, you know, he needs proof.
I said the evidence doesn't match.
You said he's put some of the best stuff, and you actually said, and I don't want to, but John, if you're watching this, you know, I don't think Rich did anything wrong.
He knows.
Yeah, no, listen, you don't lash out like that if you're on point.
Yeah.
You know,
I love John to pieces, and I hope he's going to be okay with this. But you know, don't delete your channel.
But like I said, you got to be tough. You can't be losing your mind every time somebody disagrees with you. That's a childish move. That's not how you do investigations. That's not how ufology works. That's not how science works. Like I'm giving you tough love. I've been doing this 30 plus years at this point. All right, you don't know. I've been through everything many times, and I don't fall for most of the shit that people just live in. I don't have time to waste like that.
Yeah, Oz. I want to ask Josh, when you watch this show, where do you fall in all of this? You know, when you see my interviews with Osvaldo Franco, when we're talking quite into depth with the phenomena itself, when I'm investigating and looking into people that have stories like John, where they're talking about shadow figures and you know, seeing having things that are very paranormal going on in their lives. Where do you fall into this? Are you more for this is just science, this is just
I'm kind of a bit of both. I'm kind of a bit of both, really. I mean, I'm kind of like a nuts and bolts in terms of my research and things. I'll look for the data and the evidence, but you know, I've had a couple of paranormal things which have went on in my life in like the past. This was like years ago, but I've had some experiences before, so I'm kind of like a bit of both, really. I'm more of a data-driven sort of researcher, but at the same time, I think with this topic, there's a lot that we'll never be able to explain, you know? So I think we have to have an open mind with it as well. I think it makes sense to do that because there's just so much we don't know. There's so much we don't get, you know, in terms of science now. We're so, in terms of like the phenomenon and stuff, like we're not even scratching the surface of how to investigate this properly and gather the data. We're only just starting to do that now. So we have to have an open mind of it. That's kind of where I stand with it. Yeah.
Here's a new thing that's happening. Now, relatively new. Even if you have a bad reputation, you're a criminal, you've hoaxed stuff, if you have a big following, people will still work with you. There's no, you can do anything in this field nowadays, and it seems like you can get away with it. You know, people are forgiving, and they'll buy into anything, because Dolan's been caught, you know, inside of a hoax. He says he didn't know about it, but, you know, it's all convoluted. Nonetheless, we're letting people, you know, go by the wayside. These non-credible people who are, you know, criminals or have been caught hoaxing or
but that's been true for like a long time in ufology.
It's gotten worse.
Like we've always had this terrible problem. Like Richard C. Hoagland's got dirt. I don't see him a lot anymore.
Yeah, right.
A lot of guys are just dirty. Dave, do you remember Sean David Morton?
Of course. Yeah.
Sean David Morton,
Yeah.
dude. I knew him pretty well, like back in the 90s, like decades ago. And that guy was completely full of shit. Completely.
Everybody loved him.
Dude, super popular. Tried to scam Gene Roddenberry. Tried to actually, did you know about that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he actually tried to
scam. No.
He tried to sell a television show that he said that he had made with Gene Roddenberry, and that was apparently news to Gene Roddenberry. So, then there was a lawsuit, and
wow.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of crazy, like who's another one? That guy from Roswell, the one with the beard. You know who I'm talking about.
A lot of beards
George
in
Knapp?
Roswell.
Pardon? Not George Knapp. Don Schmidt. Don Schmidt has been caught like falsifying stuff in books and like
Really?
and like it's like the excuses were terrible. It was like, you know, like I don't want to get up that early that morning.
How
like
do we...
really like lazy like asinine shit. Not only that though, but when to go back to Rich's point, he got like, you know, he screwed up a bunch of times, and then there was the Roswell slides. You remember the Roswell slides?
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
definitely.
That was the last
Yeah.
infraction. He didn't even want to look at the freaking picture in detail. There's a card, you know, by the body. You can read it. It clearly was in a museum.
Yeah, the placard was right
yeah,
there.
exactly. You know who got that done? Reddit. I was so proud of ufology that we, like a grassroots movement, we like came together like, no, fuck you. You already screwed us, and we got him. But the thing is, going back to Rich's point, he goes up to a MUFON symposium right after that. He apologizes to everybody. He was going to give a better explanation, but nobody wanted to hear it, so he just went into his lecture. So it's like this. People just want, like, I hate it when we treat this shit like religion or a TV series.
And there was another half of that. It's just that we're so desperate to hear a good story, somebody tell the truth. We want something so bad to be real.
Yes, you know, people want disclosure so bad they're willing to take bad disclosure just to have a little bit of
Yeah, something to talk about.
You know, like it's a shame. Really, it's like you know you can have a girlfriend or the blow up doll, and we keep going for the blow up doll.
It depends on the blow up doll, though.
It does.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
specifically
true,
the blow up doll.
Latex, I mean.
God bless the Japanese.
Do you think it's because there's so much information around now, and it's so hard for it's so hard for people to get away with anything, you know, be it public figures,
not in ufology,
celebrities.
dude.
No, that's what I mean. But because it's so hard for politicians or celebrities to get away with things, it makes people think there should be more evidence now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, there is more evidence. The thing is, it gets drowned out by factionalizing and nonsense, and then, you know, I'm sorry, like we can have science, or we can have like woo-woo. We can't have both. We can't have both, and we're coming to a head. We're not going to have both, I don't think.
Why
for
can't
very
we
much
have
longer.
both?
I think
Can I
both.
just pause that thought, Rich, for one
Sure,
second, and just welcome DarkSKY Files to the show? My throat went funny there. Rich, welcome to the show.
Hey,
Hey guys, hey, what's up, everyone?
How you
two
doing?
dicks are here.
You guys can hear me okay?
You sound young.
Yeah.
I imagined you to be an old guy.
Yeah, like 68, 70.
No, I just turned 42.
Okay,
He's
so
a baby.
you're like 1 year older than me. There you go.
There you go. Wow, this is cool. Awesome. Hey, Rich.
Well-
What's up, man?
What's up, Rich?
That's confusing. I'm glad you didn't come on as Rich.
I know, right?
I'm definitely glad that you didn't come on as Rich GUFON, because that'd just kill me.
And I apologize about the camera too. My laptop, I have Linux running on it, so I can't use that camera. And I'm on my desktop right now, and I got the kids in the other room, trying to quiet them down, doing their thing. So yeah, I'm running all over the place. So I do apologize not having the camera on.
I did say that nobody cares that you don't have a nose. It's not a problem.
Right.
I hear you.
I don't think I've ever met an actual person that uses Linux. Wow.
I thought that was I thought that was a deodorant.
Yeah.
Do you guys have links in the States? Links, is it?
Linux?
Links deodorant.
Links, yeah.
I never heard of it.
Never heard.
No? I'll send you a bottle, Rich. It smells like shite.
Yeah.
But-
Is that
Rich, what was you going to say until I rudely interrupted? But I needed to welcome other Rich to the show.
I gotta be honest, I don't remember.
I'm sorry, I'm such a twat.
It's okay, it'll come back.
You said about there's room for woo woo and the
Oh yeah,
science.
that's right. Thank you. Well, I was thinking, why isn't there room for woo and the nuts and bolts?
I'll explain.
All right.
Because it's kind of like China. Back in the day, you used to hear all these stories about, or rather, let's say, America in the 1600s or the 1500s. You would get these stories about giants and people with one giant foot that would hop around like bunny rabbits and all this weird ass stuff, right? These stories, like people with wings, like bizarre ass stuff. And I can tell you, as one of the descendants of those people, we didn't have that, quite obviously. Now, the thing is that there were always these stories, or even in the case of China. In China, you'd hear all these weird-ass stories about China. And then what happens? They discovered China was real. And then you met Chinese folks. And then you met Latino or Native American folks. And it turns out they were just people, too. And then after a while, those stories died out because they weren't true. They were too fanciful. And that's we've done this all along. It's the same thing. They tell all these stories about aliens. And we're going to, once you meet one, a lot of those stories, a lot of that baggage is going to deteriorate.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys that you think sound really reasonable will look like charlatans.
No, but you do realize that you modern UFO, ufology and modern stories of UFOs and aliens and certainly alien abductions are just modern day folklore.
Yeah, but it's going to be different. It's different.
Wait, I'll let him finish. I'll let Lee finish before, because we need to kind of get what.
No, these are the fairy tales of modern times, and one day in the future, talks of UFOs and aliens and greys will be the fairies and pixies of 100 years ago.
No, not necessarily, because the fairies and the pixies didn't exist. You were going to actually 100 years from now, you're going to have aliens. You're going to interact with them. It's different. Like I said, you're not talking. You're talking about
don't know if we're interacting with these things.
Pardon?
We still don't know whether we're interacting with these things. Everything's guesswork.
We're interacting with these things.
You don't know that. You absolutely don't know that.
100%. It's one of the few
we
things I
don't
know.
know it, but it might be happening.
Yeah,
No,
it might be happening.
I speak with absolute 100%.
We don't know for sure yet, yo.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know for sure yet. We don't know for sure.
Oh, those are not them. Those are
Sorry.
not them.
I love this.
Sorry, it's just you said fairies and pixies, so I'm like,
Well, I
Is that
stand
Greer in
corrected.
the
There
middle?
you go.
That's Mr. Kazoo in the middle. From the Flintstones. Kazoo?
I honestly love that little guy. I swear it reminds me of the Witches of Eastwick. If you watch that film, I think I said this to you. Watch that end.
Yeah,
that's
it's
Jack
great.
Nicholson.
That's a cactus, actually, though. They took daylight photos of that thing. It's a cactus.
I'd love to speak to Greer about that.
Kind of reminds me of the guy from what's it called? one of those cartoons. I can't remember the name of it. It's Rick and
Kazoo.
Morty. It reminds me of one of the characters from Rick and Morty.
The middle one to me looks like Kazoo from Flintstones.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yes. No, that looks like Kazoo.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think it's silly big.
Yeah, whoever it is, he looks fabulous.
Yeah, he does look.
It does look
He looks a
fabulous.
happy chap, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
He looks
skating
like
in
he's
the air.
taken
Yeah.
about 5 ecstasy tabs and just.
He's
Those
just on the
camping trips are
very
great fun, man.
he's on the very end of a plie.
Motherfuckers!
Still
That's
sticking
so
his finger up,
Greer.
yeah.
Why has he only got one arm?
It's like ice capades. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? I don't want to meet the aliens anymore. I don't.
No.
After that, dude, if they're going to be ice capading around like that, it's just like not worth it. We'll go back to
Rich.
hunting Bigfoot.
Rich
What?
guys.
Oh, okay.
Because how have you been in this field for?
So, I guess my whole life. I mean, I grew up loving just like space, right? Like watching like a whole bunch of science shows and that kind of stuff. Got my first telescope when I was a little kid. You know, was always interested in just like what's up there, like what goes on, things that I've seen. You know, learning what moves in the night sky, and that could be like, you know, when you're a kid, you know, uneducated, you're like, oh shit, what is that? Maybe a UFO, but it's actually like iridium flares or something like a comet or something, you know, generally you can like explain, right? So that got me interested in just being able to see things in the night sky, living in a place that was, you know, really dark and stuff. Kind of just going from there, and one day I just started getting into like the whole UFO stuff, started listening to all these other folks in the field, you know, like Greer and all those other guys, but you know, I never really bought into it. I was always skeptical. I was always like, you know, asking questions like, what's, you know, what else is out there? I didn't really buy into it. So, you know, I guess I've been into it for, I would say my whole life, but, you know, really hardcore researching it, looking into it, you know, reading tons of documentation, that kind of stuff, I guess for like the past 10 years, you know, 12 years, something like that.
And Rich actually did say we should ask you this. Well, I don't know if he worded it like that. I asked Rich, and then he said, "Just ask him."
Oh, here we go.
What happened with Corbell? How did you get his number?
Ah, shit! I knew that was gonna come up. I don't know if she's getting on there. Yeah. That's a long story. Yeah. I should probably keep that for myself.
I mean, I've seen. I'm not. I don't know if anybody realizes this, but I'm not actually. I don't do much on Twitter. I kind of like have a look, and I partially read things because my affliction that my mother gave me from birth. She's dyslexic as well. Honestly, I could kill her. Is that stuff passes me by, but I do see the odd tweet and Corbell's name gets mentioned. Do you dislike Corbell? Do you get along with Corbell?
I don't like people that make stuff up when they know that they're making stuff up, right? And I genuinely don't buy into the things that he's spreading. Like the videos that he's dropping, I think are all garbage. I think the things that he talks about is full of, you know, misinformation. It's lacking context. It's just, there's a lot of holes. And when you really start piecing the puzzle together and putting the big picture into context, you do see like how much bullshit is actually, I guess I can say that, how much nonsense is spread.
You can say what you want on this show, just don't say CUNT. You know,
I can't say that.
That's fine.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I don't know. We went back. Him and I went back and forth. We were talking over email for quite some time. I spoke to him, you know, a lot. Yeah, he made some promises, didn't hold up to his end of the bargain, and you know, away I went. So it is what it is. So you know, I'm just moving on.
So something did happen, and he didn't hold his end up. Okay, I respect your decision not to disclose that. Tell me offline. There's a mass. Here's the thing with this that's going on now, and where my problem lies with it. And this is no disrespect to what Jeremy is putting out, but how do we trust the source where this is coming from? And when you look at, and this doesn't just go for Jeremy, but people that put any UFO video out and doesn't back it up with anything. Whenever I see a picture of a UFO in the sky, a video of a UFO in the sky. Also, do you mind just putting your thing on mute until you speak? It's just we keep hearing like this. It's like the sound of the womb. Perfect, mate. Whenever you speak to somebody in the field that's put a video out, and you ask them, why have you so you filmed this? Yes. Okay. So why did you stop filming the UFO? Oh, my camera stopped, my battery died, or there's some bullshit that they say at the end, or in the video they say this person was filming this on the coast of so and so, but then he dropped his phone in the water, or or the UFO took the camera out. If I saw, and I have seen a UFO in the sky, and there's one on my video that a lovely guy debunked it for 8 hours. I've spoke about it so many times. I love him, but it was probably a balloon that we came to the conclusion. But I'm there in the pub with a pint in my hand, with my phone in the air, with all these people in this pub looking at me like an idiot. But I carried on filming it because I'm thinking, what is this? I want to see it shoot off. Why these people film a UFO in the sky and then stop is because it is a hoax. That is why you get these. And my argument to Corbell is, you're showing us these things, but you're not showing us what is before. What is apparently the reason why you can't show this is because it shows sensitive information. Then fucking sensitize it,
Right.
Cover it up.
I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, it's you can't just start in the middle of something and expect everyone to buy into it and only see a little piece of it, because I mean, your imagination makes up the rest of it. I get it. You don't always have your phone out and ready to be able to take a shot or take a video, but at the same time, if you're going to show us this, explain what happened before, explain what happened afterwards. Why did you stop? All the information. There's a ton of things you could ask. There's a ton of things you can question, and none of it's ever there. I would give him more respect if he actually gave us some of that context, some of the information to go along with the story. But it's not. He never does. It's always just, oh, this is what it is. I got this with my Jesus hands and my friends in the Pentagon and everyone else and blah blah blah. And the next thing you know, it's all garbage, and everyone gets pissed off at him and he wonders why. So I don't know. I think you really need to be able to find a way to show that stuff, or be able to provide some details to the actual story itself. Not just give us little bits and pieces here and there and let us try to fill in the rest of it. Because otherwise, I'm gonna like Rich would say, don't send me dots. Otherwise, I'm just gonna ignore it.
Still getting them.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think Jeremy Corbell is a disinfo guy. Usually that comes from within the company. You know what I mean?
He's not, yeah.
No. So that means he's made a deal with someone at the Pentagon, maybe through Knapp's contacts or whatever. And he's just given this stuff with the little script. Here's what happened. And that's what you show people. And I think that's the way they're doing it, because they really don't want to show us anything pertinent, at least not now. Maybe in 2 years.
And then he has to oversell that because it's all he's got, and he needs to make a career out of it.
But that's the thing. If it was from somebody who's risking their life to get the information and their jobs and everything, their reputation, to get this to Jeremy Corbell, why doesn't it match up with the claims being made?
Exactly.
There's 14 of them swarmed over the Russell, and you see 3 dots, and it's Boca after all that.
Yeah,
so.
The last one, the last footage, especially what he showed with the pyramid-shaped crafts, where apparently they were swarming the ship. I mean, he built that up over weeks and weeks and weeks, and then we got the actual footage sent through, and it was just ridiculous, really. It doesn't show anything special at all. I was
so angry about that. I mean, because that's one of those ones where if you look at it and actually look at it more than once, you're going to realize, damn, it's not what I really thought it was. And then you might backtrack and say, well, maybe we shouldn't release this, or maybe we should change kind of the story around what we're actually trying to say. We don't really know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if you watch it more than once, you get what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
saw it once.
I watched it and I was like, that looks a lot like the iris of a camera. I mean, it really does. It's a triangle. I get that they're calling that out, and I've seen the the thing on Gaia and the pyramid over the Pentagon, all that other nonsense. But at the same time, it's like the video that he released was so two-dimensional and so just a camera. It wasn't anything less than that.
But why don't they match up? If they wanted to sell this to us, why not just say we have one on camera?
Exactly.
You know, don't mention the other 13 or 14 we can't see.
Exactly.
I don't see that. To me sounds like they're pumping it up because it's not really UFOs. It doesn't look well, and we know those weren't. I can't say that for all of them, but
there's the other possibility is that again, this is a slow boil.
I know, but it's been so slow.
Yeah,
because they're scared, dude. They're only going to get to do this once. It's not that they can backtrack, and the consequences will be the consequences. This is a huge deal. This is not like, dude. Once this happens, this is the singularity, dude. But understand, we're becoming at least type 1.
I totally get that.
We are probably going to wipe ourselves out.
But ask the public what they think is happening, and they'll say, "Are the aliens coming to kill us?" I mean, we've talked to people. We were in California and interviewing people on camera, and you know, they just come out and say, "Are the aliens coming to kill us?" Because that's all I hear. I'm like, what? Because they hear threat, threat, threat. And with Jeremy's videos, they think that's real because they don't know. 90% of the people out there don't, you know, follow this like us. I'm probably 98%.
I thought old family members asked me, like, what is this UFO stuff, Rich? What is
yeah.
It? I'm like, oh my God, just turn the TV off.
Right. We tend to be quite sort of in the West, right? We tend to be quite America-centric. So why, if it's out there, why hasn't another nation done this? Why isn't?
Because it's looking more and more like we actually run the show. I would not be surprised if there are long-standing international treaties where it's basically hands-off with countries. You might even be surprised. You know, like honestly, like there's a lot of weird rumors about a lot of international dealings. Russia, China, and the United States together in certain projects for decades.
Yeah.
And there have been times where there have been falling outs and that stopped. And then like rumors that it's begun again. Doing some research on that. We're going to see where that goes. Actually, recently.
Because they got the funding to go again. That's why.
Well, there's stuff going on. There's a lot of things that are being discussed.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
So does that mean you think that diplomatic sort of tension is theater to cover up for UFOs?
There's reason to believe that in some cases, yes. Yeah.
I'm not trying to pull you up.
I mean,
dude, there's many examples of this going on, and it comes from both within Greer's camp and DeLong's. So that's something to consider. That's one thing that they both have in common, actually, is this international, you know, like something is like at some level, and it sort of has to be.
But how can we trust either one of those guys?
Time.
Difficult.
I don't trust Greer. I don't like Greer. I've had my own run-ins with Greer. I believe, I think Maya Angelou once said, believe somebody when they show you who they are the first time. So,
that's brilliant.
You know, so like, really honestly, he's not enlightened. He's not holier than thou. I see he doesn't wear a shirt when he goes camping. What do you think happens at night?
What do I think happens when Greer goes camping? I'll tell you what happens when Greer goes camping. This happens.
Great.
That must have been just after that photograph was taken when he got his cycle wrong.
Oh, shit.
I have a little soft spot for Greer. I don't know why. I just.
Oh my God!
I do too. I
just want to sit on his knee. That's all.
No, you don't.
No.
I want to sit on his knee and him like.
Well, you're a bit old for him, I think.
Him giving me a Werther's original, something like that.
Werther.
I think he started off. On the on the right path, but he quickly realized, hey, I can make a fortune doing this. Why not?
You know what? I think that might not be the whole story, dude. I think Steven thought that he was going to blow up the Death Star with that, and he sort of might have been right, except that the powers that be control everything, and you know, and it didn't work. It instead of bounced off.
Also, are we
So
talking
now-
about an actual Death Star or just
No, as a
hypothetically?
concept.
That's okay.
Like
That's all right.
UFO
Just
secrecy
checking,
being the
just
Death
checking.
Star. So the thing is, that instead of blowing it up, it bounced off. So then, like, shit, I'm a doctor. I just blew my career. Who's going to hire me? I was, in charge of a hospital. Now I'm like in charge of nothing. There's a bunch of suckers. I might just go ahead and milk him. And also the fact is, I don't like the guy personally. I couldn't have been nicer to the guy. He could not have been more like just awful and like just very nasty, unnecessarily, like completely, like holy shit. I was shocked. I tried to pretend it didn't happen. Well, I won't do that again.
Osvaldo, did something happen to Greer that he stopped being a doctor?
Got involved in UFOs. That's to my knowledge.
That's the change for real?
Yeah, that he dropped everything. That's the legend.
Yeah.
We'll see. But again, I'm sorry, I don't believe New Agers, or spiritualists. Like Gandhi was a fraud. Mother Teresa was a fraud. Stephen Greer, I'm saying, dude, I don't trust people in robes unless you're
Mother
coming out the shower. Dude, I don't
so
trust people. If
true.
you're wearing a robe in the street, you're up to some shit. You're naked under there. And there's kids inside. Some shit. You're doing some
A little
fucked up shit.
tomfoolery, yeah.
Got a point.
Yeah, there's something is
not-
up. If you
There's
are,
not a huge difference
never
between
thought
a
of that.
robe and a lab coat, though.
dude, there'd be the Pope or a nun or a swan, whatever you want, or some white lady with a Native American name with a crystal on her head. I don't that's all horseshit.
So are there any
100%
good people in this
No,
world?
listen, this is
Are there any fucking good people in this world?
Just Tom DeLonge. Just
over
Tom DeLonge.
metaphysics every time.
That's true. There are no good people.
No. Yes.
In ufology, right? It's all messed up.
He has been consistent, though. I mean, if you do watch some
I
of his
know.
old presentations, his old videos, things with him on Larry King. I know you showed that, Rich. I mean, some
Yeah,
of
but
that,
he also doesn't change what he says.
yeah.
Same documentary all the time. I think he burned bridges and no one will speak to him anymore.
Let Dark Skies finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's like I think a lot of these guys are masters at knowing their own lie or their own story, right? I grew up. I mean, I loved Lazar. I loved the story. I loved the whole the mystery. But but when you really the more you think about it, it's like science fiction, man. It's all fake. It's all fake, and it's really hard to buy into it when there's that many holes, right? So it's like
True.
I just think these guys are really good at telling that story, and they've solidified it to a point where there's no getting around it. Like they know their shit, they know how to make the story, they know what to say, when not to say, they can read body language. I just think they got that down to a T. It's like their thing now. That there's you're not going to catch them in a lie unless they're really messed up one day or something drastic happens to them. I just don't see it, So I think they're going to continue to have that story forever, and people are going to buy into it, or they're going to deny it, and they're going to use the excuse, well, he's been telling the same story for the last 30 years. That doesn't make it real, It doesn't make it reality. It's just, I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot of what's going on in this field, and it's unfortunate because it dupes a lot of people in, and then it turns them off in the long term, and down the road when things like now, about all these releases with UFOs and mainstream media and all this other stuff. So I think it's a tough field. It really is.
I think you would catch them in a lie if the right person interviewed them.
Yeah, but that happens all the time, and it never stops. Like, how many times has David Icke been confronted on camera by people that are much more reputable than David Icke? And it just bounces off.
Yeah.
It just bounces off, then
they come up with another excuse, really.
Oh yeah, no, because honestly, isn't this a lot like church? Isn't this a lot like church?
Okay,
now,
so I invited Stephen Cambion on tonight from Truth Seekers, but it was last minute because I actually watched his show that he did and he had a massive rant about Jimmy Church. Is that what you talk about, that church, Oz? Talking about that church?
No, I'm talking about church.
Real church.
Period. Religion.
Oh, real church. Sorry.
All of
Yeah.
them. Every last one, every temple, every mosque.
It is like
all
church.
horseshit. 100% horseshit. Some details in them are true, and could be UFO
And it's not
related.
100% oh shit.
But it's enough horseshit that you're not going to want to touch it. How about that? It's mostly horseshit.
I don't know.
At least put on some gloves before you do it.
I think even ufology can be like looked at as a religion as well.
That's my point.
Yeah,
Of course,
That's
yeah.
the point I was making.
That's how it is, really.
My God,
It is like a
dude.
religion. Yeah.
Go on, Josh. Give us your
Speaking English, right?
give us
a little
your
bit.
Yeah, I mean,
give
in
us some
terms of
power.
what Lee just said, in terms of what Lee just said there, it makes a lot of sense because we're in this moment now in terms of the topic where we can't prove anything. And I understand what you're saying, Oz, in terms of like you think that they're here for sure. Like we don't have any evidence yet to say that they are. You know, these could be Chinese drones, they could be Russian drones.
Dude, I'm
We
sorry,
don't know
no.
for sure
Okay,
yet.
wait, Oz, hold the fort, and then come back at let Josh finish, then you come back at him. That's fine. You build it up, Oz.
I mean,
build the anger up.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like the most likely thing to me, it probably is. It's going to be ET or something like that. But until we have the actual data, until we have the actual proof, then you have to be on the fence about it. You just have to be. You can't go to that side of things yet until there's more proof. Unfortunately, that's the way I see it. And until that happens, you kind of have to see it as kind of like a religion, like Lee said, because you have to go on faith really for now. In terms of this, yeah. Okay,
Well,
Oz, you can go now. You can
all
jump
right.
in, mate.
For me, it's not a faith. For me, this is a physical, real thing. I don't do faith. Would
Prove
not
it.
be doing this for a belief.
No, but to prove it, then, where's the evidence that
Yeah,
you've seen, which make it 100% absolute fact?
I agree with that, Lee.
Can't really go into that.
No, of
just
course
yet.
you can't, because you never
No.
can. No, you never can.
I'll tell you.
There's like nobody who has the proof now. There's nobody who has it. There's nobody.
Oh no, there's proof. There's physical proof. We've crossed that boundary.
2 months down the road, isn't it? It's just over the hill.
No,
Just
it's
on the
not.
I think there's
Like,
theoretical data. Like there's
no, Lee, that's just disingenuous. If you look at, there's researchers that have already spoken about this. There's already like a documentation of stuff that has been recovered from crashes. It's official. There's official documentation. Perhaps you haven't seen it, but it does exist. There are.
But that doesn't prove that it's alien, though. It doesn't prove it's alien, though. It just proves that we've recovered
like,
something
honestly,
from.
Look at it this way: the term alien means like from far away. You know, it can be. It can mean like, and with that, there's a lot of margin. Now, this is the thing: if you have time travelers, that's aliens. If somebody's from another dimension, those are aliens. If somebody's from another planet, that too is an alien. What do you call when you jump the border? An illegal alien. So this is the thing. Either way, the term holds. Either way, the term holds. But I would also say this: if they're not from off-world, why are we getting crazy? Like from studies that have been done, why are these things made out of materials that are not local, like sourced from our solar system or planet? Why?
Course, yeah.
Hold on. Why is it that not only are we seeing them coming in from ICBM trajectories, from orbit, not only by like these advanced radar systems that we have and these sophisticated optical systems, but also from satellites? We also see them on the ISS. We see them in shuttles. We've seen them as like, dude, somebody's coming in and out of space. You don't need to do that if you live in the ocean primarily.
Would you say, though, would you agree there that you have, even though you're saying you don't believe in faith, that you've got a bit of faith there in the people that are telling you that this is true and this is actually happening? You've got the faith in these people, whoever they are, that you believe. No, I'm not having to go there. I'm just saying, would you agree that faith in, say, believing that in something spiritual, or faith in believing in something that is technology from a different planet that's out there?
It's not the same thing, because this is the thing.
But you believe in. No. Wait, one second, my beautiful man. All right. Would you agree, though, that you have got a faith in whoever has given you either the evidence of this? I know what you've seen yourself. I know about your story, and I completely believe your story about the Hudson Valley sightings. So I know you've had that personal experience. and this is what got you into the subject. And I know your mum got you into the subject, but for others out there, would you not say it's faith in the field of ufology, that we have a faith in all these? So, for example, the whatever name the show, UAPs and the Great Divide. Yeah, okay, there is a divide there, but people have faith in different people who have divided us, and there is a problem there.
Oh yes, but I would say,
and would you not put yourself in one of those corners?
no, and I would say this, because for most people in ufology, it is a matter of faith, and you can have factions. There's however,
That's
a
what he's
small
saying.
group of, yes, however, an addendum, there are small groups of people within ufology and people that aren't in ufology, quite frankly. In fact, most of them aren't, that have actually had physical, real, like not even just experiences, have dealt with stuff, materials, have been involved in all manner of physical, real stuff that has happened. From that perspective, it's different. Also, I would say that another group that is now emerging is scientists that are now, mainstream scientists that are now trying to discuss this subject matter. As I've said before, I've been discussing things with some of these people. They come from another type of informed perspective about what's possible with natural law. And when they have seen the evidence that they've seen, and now they're coming around, that's also a different perspective. And I think those two perspectives that I mentioned, those are going to carry the day. Everything else is going to disappear. The same way, there are Democrats and Republicans before that, there were Whigs and Tories.
Yeah,
and there aren't any anymore. They
telemetry
disappear.
data versus physical data is a totally different subject. Like, telemetry data is what you're talking about, radar, all this other stuff.
No, I'm also talking about studies of things like metamaterials that have been recovered.
I understand,
gels,
but until that's made, but until that is made to the general public, where everyone can see and do their own forensics against that actual data, the material that they've, quote unquote, collected, it's still theoretical. No one sees it. No one has it. No one has this in their hands. No one is able to process it. No one is able to do anything with it, other than the people that are talking, which is the talking figures that are above us, which leads you to say, I need to believe in these people in order for me to believe in the theory. It's the same thing as honestly, dude. I'm not against you. I'm on your side. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
go ahead.
Artemis, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate the $10 super chat, and that's so true.
Public until we get to have faith. Oh well. Honestly,
Thanks,
no, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. That is so true. I think it's working together that's gonna get us somewhere. It's the little people in this. I don't think. I know you. I know it really is. It's the people that are not got any sort of.
In terms of
yes, completely. Artemis is completely right there. I know. Also, I know you believe in these the bigger people up there, and to a certain degree, I do. And I have a. I wouldn't say it's a faith, but it's a wish that one of them is just going to pull through and, just be the one to say, fuck you. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to actually turn on, and it might even lose me money, but I want to see somebody do that. I want to see somebody give me something that I can trust in.
Yeah, but
I think that's going to happen soon. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I informed Ollie of somebody that I've been in contact with recently. That is a major player. And
never happened.
We'll see.
I know.
We try.
I know. I'm joking, but I hope we do.
I think it's going to change because. Again, there's a lot of hard scientists getting involved. The media is present like never before. We have momentum.
Wait, you talking about Avi Loeb?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Though I
had to ask.
Though I support the project. No, this is somebody else.
Okay. I had to ask. Yeah, that's all.
and it's not just one person; it's actually other folks, and that's the
Is-
the great part. It's like other
this the
other
SCU you're
physicists
talking
and-
about? Is this
Pardon?
the SCU you're talking about?
No,
Osvaldo?
I'm actually talking about people that aren't involved in ufology, that are involved in
Right.
mainstream science, and most of these cases, some are, but most are not. And this is why it's so exciting. This and I mean like
Yeah.
names that you will be like, who? But
I
like
had
if you're into
Oz,
you're like, what?
do you remember when me and you, we first, I think you were one of the first guys I interviewed, and you were speaking about the something project. I can't remember the name of the guys, but they got in touch with me after the show,
Mhm.
and they said at some point they may come on. But they said we don't want to muddy the waters by even saying anything right now. But
Yes.
something got leaked from them guys, and I've
Yes.
forgotten the name of them. What they
Yeah,
called?
no, I don't want to bring it up just because again, we got reasons. Like I said before.
Well,
so,
I'll bring it up if I know the
like,
name
so,
of it.
I'm sorry. Like if,
I'll tell
like,
you the fucking name of it.
Yeah, but like let's not. Let's be diplomatic. If you want to go look for it, you can.
Well,
but,
no, I'm not going to say anything. What they said
I
to me,
don't
but I
want
just
to
want to.
listen. I don't want to be obnoxious. People get squirrely. They already got squirrely. Let's leave good enough alone for now.
I can't even pronounce what they call that company.
Yes, I know. Don't try.
What, Battelle?
The
No. Oh, please.
Eily clone project or something. What? Come on, let's just tell us what it is. I'm not going to
Come
name what it.
on, dude. I don't discuss these things, dude.
Well, it's not. Anyway,
What does it start with?
I'll spell it out. I'll spell it out because it's interesting.
All right, dude. All right, that's on you though.
Well,
That's
I'm
on
not
you.
saying anything that they've told me.
It's not an incantation. They're not going to repeat it.
Yeah, they just said thank you so much for the kind words. And we're working hard to try and do shit, but it takes a lot of work, basically. In so many words, that what they were saying, and said it's going to be a long time before we even can say anything.
And speaking of which, also remember when you were talking about like, well, nobody has this physical materials. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And there's more players than you know, and it's going to get complicated, man. And it's going to be more than TTSA.
Good.
Sooner than you think.
Good.
This is going to be honestly, dude. This works out. I think this is going to be a growth industry, but not the way that it's gone on before.
Oh,
we're
really?
We're going to become a high tech industry, and it's like this is going to be dude. This is
okay.
Even the baby steps of developing these technologies, that's
what we talk about. Let's see it get out to the public.
It's there's more than just rumors. There's again, you guys don't there's real all right. So speaking of TTSA, Steve Justice actually gave an interview, and he was talking about some of and the thing is, we also have the Craddock report that's coming out at some point. He worked on that, and he said that.
Thank you, Dorothy. I appreciate that.
They're finding some ways of it seems like scattering, energy, and but it looks like the most implications would be for electronics, which is fine. Take that. I mean, we revolutionized technology, electronics. That works too. It might not be anti-gravity just yet. But that's whatever, dude. Alien-based technology. I want that.
So Oz, here's the thing, and I want you to come to us last on this one, because I want the other guys to get a chance, because I know you'll have your info on that you want to. So what happened with TTSA? Okay, so Lou buggered off, and the Melon pissed off as well. So Melon and Lou, they got out of there. Am I right by saying that Hal's still there and we've got Justice still there? Okay.
Yeah, we have Hal.
So wait. Oz. So we got. That's true. Yeah. So the acknowledgement there. So we've got the guy in the science. We've got the guy that is the guy who potentially could build that fucking spaceship. But was Lou and Melon, was the plan all along for them just to be there for a certain amount of time. I thought of this the other day. I wondered if they were going to join, and it was only going to be like not like a temporary contract, let's say, or whatever. It had to do with getting something done. So I'm wondering if in fact I've got a lot of hope in it. It's not faith, it's just hope, because I hope after all the investment that people have put the money into TTSA that something could still get done there, because you do still have Hal Puthoff there, and you still have Steve Justice there working with Tom DeLonge. So I can't see what them guys would have to do with fucking Angels and Airways and selling t-shirts. So something in the background hopefully is getting done.
Well, have you been listening to?
Yeah, Oz. Well, let the other guys speak their bit about that, and then we'll come back to you as an investor, because you I mean, this is no offense, Oz, but you'll be biased on that because you're an investor. But I know the faith in it, but I want to hear the other four boys' thoughts on that.
In terms of like my impression of TTSA, it's my understanding that Mel and Lou, they left that organization because I think Tom DeLonge was kind of going into like the media sort of route. So I think he's got 10 films at the moment, which are in production. So I think that's why Lou and Mellon kind of left at that time to pursue, they're, in terms of those two, they're not like media or TV guys, really. They're more serious sort of government people. So I think that's why they left, but I could be wrong, but that's my understanding of it anyway. I'm not sure if I'm right there, Osvaldo, but that's just my impression.
It would be nice to see something more from TTSA than a bad History Channel TV show.
Yeah, I mean, they also did, Tom DeLonge did the interview with Jim Semovin a few days ago. I'm not sure if you guys caught that one.
I haven't seen that
which
yet.
was quite interesting. Yeah, there were some good quotes from that. I think part 2 is coming up as well soon.
What was that?
Yeah, there was an interview of Tom DeLonge. It was on the Theories of Everything podcast. I think it was like a few days ago now.
Yeah,
so it was Tom DeLonge. Tom DeLonge and Jim Semovin as well. But in terms of Lou and Mellon, it's my understanding that they left because it was going to more of like the media sort of side of things, which is why they left. But I could be wrong.
Thanks, Area 503. We'll get you back on again soon as well. He's got a lot to say. Make sure you check out his channel. Go subscribe. DarkSKY, what's your opinion on it?
So I might piss people off here.
No, that's what we're there for.
I mean, I love. So I grew up the same time frame, I guess, as Tom DeLonge and that whole thing. But I really think that he was just a front man, just to get that generation, whatever it is, Gen X, whatever it is, like get that generation of people, the followers. He had such a huge stage. Get those people to buy into this new genre, this new subject, or whatever it was, and go from there. I mean, it clearly showed like he wasn't the important person in the subject. He was the person to get them on to the big stage. All these nobodies, these people that play behind the scenes and black projects and all this other stuff, and bring them to the forefront and get people to listen to their story and be like, holy shit, you know what? Yeah, maybe we should pay attention to this. Maybe we should follow this. Maybe this is something we should actually listen to, right? And I really think that's kind of what happened. I think he was duped in with a genuine love and passion for the subject, and I think he was made out to be like this, just this person that just looked like a fool in the end. But I think it was all just to get that platform, get these guys to where they need to be for today, which got them to where they need to be. They're all in mainstream media, and that's why they ditched them. That's why they don't need TTS anymore. That's why they're dealing with fucking Fox all the time and CNN and all these other media outlets all the time and spreading all this information. They don't need TTSA. I really think it was just a stage for them to stand on to get them to where they want to be today. That's my opinion.
Do you think maybe they ditched Tom DeLonge because all of a sudden they realized if we look at where the emails between like Tom DeLonge and Podesta, what you have out of touch old people that don't realize that Tom DeLonge isn't a cultural icon anymore. And as soon as they realized that he couldn't do what they needed him to do, they got rid of him. And that's why they started flirting with allowing people onto the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I really do. Yeah, I buy that. I mean, I just think that he was used. I really do. I don't think that he was the, what he set out to be. And I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just saying this is my opinion. I just really think he was used as a pawn to, to get to a bigger stage so these other players could be mainstream. I mean, I really think that's what it all comes down to. What the data. All the information that we've been shown, all the videos, the radar data, et cetera, the documentation. I mean, I think they're putting that out there for us to kind of figure out what we need to do with it. But in terms of what is the actual answer towards it, I have no idea. I really don't. But I really think that TTSA was just a stage to get to the next level for these other players that are in the field now.
Rich, before Giordano, Rich. Before we let Oz have his piece on that, because I know he's dying to there.
Go.
I know that you've said a lot about TTSA in the past. Some good. I've heard you say some good stuff. You have complimented them before. Would you say that that's caused a divide? One of the big divides right now.
No.
That has gone on.
No, it's just people doing different things and thinking that they have the answer. And they're coming out with their narrative, and Lou's got his, and it's just, Corbell's doing his thing. Hal Puthoff saying something else. It's just different ideas bring up different narratives and conversation. And the divide, right now, people are, I don't know if they're softer or weaker or what, but you can't even have a conversation with some people. They get just so angry.
Yeah,
agree.
And I don't know where it's never been like that. Every now and then you'd be able to get a word in, but I think it has to do with a lot of mainstream media. Mainstream media always gets people, well, it was on Fox, it ain't real. Well, it was on CNN too, so it's not real, and then so you get people arguing, and then it turns political, and I think that's what it is. The divide in ufology is the same almost as it is politically between left and right. At least it is in the States.
Completely agree.
With the thoughts that you've had on TTSA, GUFON, Rich.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered why Hal's still there and Justice is still there? Because what is your opinion on Hal Puthoff and Steve Justice?
I don't really have much of an opinion. I don't know. That may be more aligned for Osvaldo to answer, but if I was to hedge a bet and guess...
Sorry, Rich, to interrupt there, but you don't think that these people are... I mean, what a lot of people have said about Lou, you don't think these people like fronts, Hal's he's definitely got it all behind him, and Justice has as well. These people, they've got proven, people knew about these people beforehand, and they're still in that company. If that makes sense, they're still there.
Yeah.
And have you ever thought about that?
Yeah. I was just going to say that, they want to hold on to everything as long as they can possibly hold on to it and have control over it.
So for somebody like, I mean, I know more about Hal than I do Steve Justice, but I've looked into it a little bit. I know he's ex Lockheed, whatever, but Hal, I can't see somebody of that background risking everything. He's because he's the age of retirement, well over the age of retirement. Yeah, and he's still there. He's still there with TTSA doing something. I don't think he's tuning Tom DeLonge's guitar. Maybe he's making Tom DeLonge a new guitar, but there's some.
Well,
maybe there's something.
didn't ATIP really turn into TTSA? And they got all their files over there? That's what I remember hearing. So maybe they're still working on stuff and using it as a front, like you said. It definitely is a front for some. I've always said that. It's like the mafia, They're giving protection to the business, but, you got to do business their way. Front door, fur coats, back door, TVs.
So true.
I don't know.
Thank you, Dorothy. Again, there isn't. You're right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dorothy.
What's she saying? No centralized vision of subject like
archaeology. Yeah.
Archaeology. I couldn't read that word. Thanks, Rich. Yeah. I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Me too.
Fun fact. I told my mum and dad I wanted to be an archaeologist. What I really meant is I wanted to be a paleontologist because it was dinosaurs. So I was interested in.
Okay.
Yeah. Oz, I'm going to stand out for a bit now. So Oz, you can speak your piece to these guys and let these guys chime in. I don't want people to think this is everybody against Osvaldo Franco, by the way, because
it can be everybody.
No, Oz, listen to me. You have no idea the amount of respect that people have for you in this field. Whether we disagree with you or not is the difference. You're knowledgeable in the subject.
Yep.
That's goes without a doubt.
100%.
A lot of things. Some things. I think what you got the faith there. I think you've got the faith. Anyway, I'm going to stand out of that, but I love you to pieces. So I don't want you to think that is.
No, not at all, man. I don't have that big of an ego. It's not.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Like I'm saying, man, I'm a free speech absolutist. Even if you tell me to go fuck myself, good. I'd rather you do that than want to or not.
That's a New Yorker right there.
Yes, exactly. I'm not afraid of ideas or people.
Yeah.
I will bring it too. So just know, don't bring hugs to a knife fight. But because I'm not that dude either. But the way I would put it is this: DeLong's done some speech, has done some interviews, like peppered interviews here and there, and like odd places, not like UFO media either. Like just like other media, talking about getting into UFOs, which is what TTSA's mission is, really. It was never to recruit us. It is to get everybody else on board. And their mission is essential. Also, the only reason why we're having all the progress we've had is TTSA and the people that supported TTSA. We got the Congress to do shit. We're the ones that that I've helped pray for those briefings. We got this done. We got the ball rolling in a major, major way. We've never won. And we finally won. This is a huge deal, and it's not.
I think they let you think you won.
No. There's more.
Well, not you, them, yeah.
There's more that's coming. But DeLong said something very interesting. He said, no, I'll answer questions, but hold up a second. DeLong said that you guys think that I got a bunch of these super, these brilliant scientists and spies and directors of agencies to just run around and chase UFOs as a lark. And I'm like I fooled them. And then it's like, you don't know what's going on. That makes no sense at all. And he's correct. At the end of the day, and there's more going on, and it's not faith.
Sorry, I was carry on. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
No. Lee, you go on, because I'd rather have the discussion.
Unless the Secret Service guy's job is to make you think this.
You know what?
What if
it could be the Secret Service guy's job to make us think this because it's going to happen? Because the thing is, dude, it's one thing to play games with the UFO community. It's another thing to involve the mainstream scientific community. It's happening. It's happening big time. I live in New York City, man. I'm smack dab between Columbia and NYU. We have the smartest people on the planet over here.
Also, think
this is coming up.
I think DarkSKY wants to chip in that. And that's
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it's.
No, dude. I'm saying from personal experience, from speaking to these people, something's going on. And I'm not, and it's not even just that they're looking at the stuff that's going on now. They're also being approached back channel.
Oz, hold your passion for a second. Let's hear DarkSKY out.
I mean, so I'm telling you from experience as well. I'm saying I hear you. You're taking it to the extreme, right? There's something in between, and there, like what you're saying is like the extreme of that whole thing, man. Like back it back down. It's not as crazy as you're trying to make it out to be.
How is this crazy? How am I making it something to be? No, go ahead, please. I'd like to hear.
I just think it seems like everything you say is always, it seems very opinionated, and instead of just trying to like look at both sides of it. I think that you're like TTSA, yes, is a huge part of this. No doubt. 100%. They brought so much to this field that no one else has, but it still doesn't make them like not be what they've turned out to be, which was a pawn. It was a stage to get to the next level.
That's you have to understand life is that way in every aspect of life. That's what's called owning a corporation. You go into different stages, you do different things. To point that out and say that's suspicious is kind of disingenuous. That's how things always work. Like I say again, dude, I know how big companies function. I see them every day. Know lots of very, very smart people that run huge things that you use and own. This is common. This is not like when Justice, pardon me, when Lou and left TTSA and Mellon left TTSA, everyone's like, "Ooh, wow, there's problems." No, they're like, "Oh, there's going to be issues." No, it's acrimonious. Everybody's still on the same team. Everybody's still working together. There's still like all those people that said, you see, they're all full of shit. Didn't know a damn thing what they were talking about. Like they were just, and then they reported, you see, no, it's you guys that maybe don't know as much as you think you know about what's going on behind the scenes with these things. Again, I spent a lot of time on this. I talked to a lot of people. I've been doing this for a very long time. I don't drop names, but I give hints here and there. Ollie knows more about that. How else can I put it to you? I would stress patience and not a whole lot because things are coming. Again, we're like, and not even just TTSA. Like I'm talking, but things that happen as a result of TTSA. For instance, the situation with China.
Rich, you look like you're dying to say something.
Yeah, I'll speak.
Yeah.
No, I'm just listening. I really am. I'm listening to his point of view. I've never heard it.
Okay. This is the thing. Like, all right, like for instance, because TTSA got this report done, now China's getting involved, and other countries are getting involved. In fact, Lou talks about that. There's a coordinated effort behind the scenes. It's been going on for quite a while now, to get international players involved, and we're going to see what happens in September when the UN reconvenes, where that goes. Also, because of TTSA, we're going to probably end up getting congressional hearings. This is going on now. They're preparing for that. Open for congressional hearings for the first time since, the 60s?
Maybe, but that's not definite. That's in the talk. I mean, they're talking like it. And Lou said, I hope we do have these congressional hearings. He didn't say they're definitely happening. Nobody did.
Listen, we're getting another report.
September.
Another
September time,
real soon. Again,
just like the last one, we got all those documents, and they gave us 9 pages of everything we already knew.
And then, you hear what the congressmen say about it, and it's like basically you've heard like the scuttlebutt about that. Listen, they're not briefing Congress like that because something isn't going on. They're not telling us this much because they're going to try to keep it quiet. All this is happening so that they can do this in a manner where you're going to still go to work. You're not going to like freak out, or you know what I'm saying, or lose your mind, or there will be a certain sector of the population that will do that, but that's just life. They want to mitigate that to as little damage as possible, quite rightly. And it is their fault. They set this bomb off, and now they got to defuse it.
Do you
Not
know what
TCSA, but the powers that be. But And you know what? I'm proud to have invested in this, having fought this battle for 30 fucking years, and to be a part of even a small part of the first major tactical victory. We've had our first major tactical planned victory. Like, that's a huge deal. That's
but
a enormous deal, and
TTSA
we're not done. No, go ahead.
is the problem. They're the ones that came out with the threat, which Gavin said in the chat, and I was about to say the same thing. They're the ones that started that threat narrative.
I think the threat narrative, that this whole...
But that's what gave us the divide.
Listen, it's semantics.
I was let Rich finish first.
No,
and then...
that's all.
No, listen, that's all semantics. It's this idea, we need to stop the again, you know how, all right, this is the thing, you know how spiritual people tell you not to think negative thoughts and shit, you know, and it's a game that they play, they give you busy work.
Yeah.
This whole idea, we need to stop the militarization of space, this busy work, it already happened. We already got stuff up there, we're already shooting at each other in space. It leaks even in the regular media sometimes, bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like, this has already been done. And if you think that the stuff that they're telling us now is interesting, what aren't they telling us? I mean, you know how much money we've been spending, how much stuff we've been putting up in the space and deep underground for quite some time.
But we can only work with what we know. We can't work on what we think we want.
Yeah, but you're correct. But the thing is this: you have to get real smart about stuff. You have to learn about physics. You have to learn about engineering. But all these things that are hard and involve math and studying and humans just really don't naturally like.
To understand if there's UFOs.
Yeah, and in fact, when you finally do that, it becomes a whole different thing.
I never thought of taking a physicist or somebody with me on a UFO hunt.
Yeah, you would be surprised, man.
What are they going to tell me? Oh, it went from A to B in 8,000 miles an hour? I could figure that out. It's not hard.
There's more to that. No, there's a lot more to it than that, Rich.
But we never see anything anyway like that.
No, we are. We're starting to see stuff. I'll send you some links. It's already happening. It's like you're late to the party. But it's still going on.
Send it to my Skype.
Do you know what
I don't care.
Really
just send it. Yeah, I want it.
No, there's a lot, but it's going to be wordy, and you might not get it. It's hard, dude. It's difficult. It's hard for smart people, like brilliant.
I can get it.
It'll take you a while, you know, like do it in doses. But you know, you'll get through it.
I'll take pills and I'll read it.
But you remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where anyone that was interested in UFOs had a healthy distrust for the government.
Oh yeah.
But now, because they're saying something we want to hear, that it's just can't be gobbled up quick enough.
No,
it's the same bastards.
No. I trust them to do certain things. I'm saying, man, I'm not vaccinated. I trust them to do certain things.
Let's not talk about that.
I don't trust them for everything.
Okay, yeah. But...
That's a big assumption on your part. That's wrong.
No. I didn't say I trust them for everything. But on this, and again with TTSA, personally, I'll be dead honest. I think TTSA is a fucking pyramid scheme. I think that. I think it's fucking con. I think it's going to turn into some sort of media company. It's going to make
supposed to be a media company.
Some bad TV shows.
It's a media company that funnels.
And somebody's going to make millions.
Well, that's what they're supposed to be, really.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be it's not going to be the holy grail of ufology. Like,
well, that's
no, but they got us the mainstream.
Dude, the fact that we've gotten this far is the holy grail of ufology. Do you understand? We're not crazy anymore. That's a big up.
True.
That's true. I forgot about that one.
We're not crazy anymore.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You know, and we're on track to being geniuses ahead of our time. Holy shit. The bastard kings of physics. Us,
Josh,
the people that saved the world. How about that? What a legacy for us.
I'll shut up. I love you. one second.
That was perfect. Yeah.
Josh wanted to ask something. Josh, what were you going to say?
No, it was just on the back of what Lee said there about TTSA kind of turning into like a media company. I completely agree with you there. I mean, that's the reason why Lou Elizondo and Mellon had left there, was because it was going down the media sort of route. So, you know, and I brought this point before. I think DeLong's got like 10 films in the works and documentaries as well, and books. You know, so where does he have time? Yeah, so where do they have time to do all of that and all the UFO like researching, analyzing all the data and like materials and stuff. They're not going to
That's
have.
why-
They can't do it
That's
all.
why we formed
you know?
a corporation. The corporation has like fingers in every pie. You get a corporation owns a bank and an advertising agency and a pharmaceutical company, and et cetera, et cetera. And real estate holdings and Bitcoin. That's how those things will operate. That's how TTSA operates. TTSA is a corporation. TTSA has a bunch of different things that's planned. Absolutely. DeLong wants us to be $1 billion corporation. That's basically how you do that. Especially coming from the outside in. You create one funding mechanism to do another.
Right, Oz, we're going to move on from that. But before we do move on from that, I'm going to ask you one thing here. So you're still an investor in TTSA, yeah? Am I right by it? Yeah, okay. So
Most money I ever spent.
And Hal Puthoff is still working with TTSA?
Yes.
And Steve Justice is still working with TTSA?
No, Steve Justice actually went to Virgin. He built that glider.
Oh, yeah, okay, okay.
Again, Steve Justice is a big deal guy. He's not going to just jump ship for nothing.
What is Hal doing?
Hal is working on something, and he's also working on something with the film part as well. Because again, Hal knows a lot of stuff we don't.
Okay, so what is Hal's expertise?
Hal's a physicist and an engineer.
And he's working on a film.
Well, he's providing source material for these.
What is he doing? What is Tom DeLong paying him to do? I'm asking you this as an investor.
Yeah, no. Well, he's basically he runs the science portion of this.
What is he doing?
What is he doing? Research on things like metamaterials and research on things like there's a lot of different things.
You're talking about the Adam project.
Yes, Adam project, and also
what's in the
Hold on. Pardon?
DeLong is responsible for that?
The Adam project, yes. It's his company. Like he's not doing it himself, but I'm saying like he's not, I think he graduated high school. He's not doing this himself. But that's what you do is when you have a corporation, you hire people with PhDs and you set them to a task and they do it. That's the beauty of being really rich.
But I'm right by saying, as investors, and this is with no disrespect, you all have no fucking idea what Hal is doing.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
we don't get updates like that.
I think you should.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be nice,
especially if you're investing in the company. You should get updates for sure. Yeah, you should be getting them, definitely.
Yeah, but still, they're doing sensitive stuff, and I respect that. I respect the people, and the fact is, they came through. They came through big time. Even for the people that disagreed with them, they came through big time.
So you agree that's faith?
It's not so. Again, not so much. I know a lot about this. This is more in the bag, I think, than people think it is.
I hope it is.
Especially in terms of physical evidence and stuff like that. This is like, again, dude, we crossed over into something new. You haven't noticed. You're noticing little bits. You're seeing little pieces of this, but it's going to increase. And again, there's a couple things going on. I've been working on a theory. I'm going to be presenting it soon. Hopefully, I'm bouncing some ideas off of some of these people, and I am going to be making a prediction based on that theory. And it's not a far out thing. This is something that's going to be able to be verified within maybe a few years.
I look forward to it, Oz, and when we get close to that, we'll get you on your own, and we'll speak about that. Josh,
Yeah,
I've seen you was on a interview with I forgot his name.
Max Moskovitz. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, with the what you call it guy. Rich spoke about him earlier. Tell us, is
Loeb.
it the Javi Loeb? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You was with what do you make to the Loeb?
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's just starting really. I mean, they've got $20 million of funding initially to start the project, and then they've just recently announced that it's going to be open for public funding. That was announced a few days ago. but that's still not enough. I mean, 20 mil is just a drop in the ocean for that kind of project and work. So I'll be interested to see where it goes, but it's still early days. I mean, it just depends on how much funding these guys can get, you know.
I'm quite new to this, see, and I've explained this so many times. People will send me emails asking me about the field of ufology. I'm not a ufologist. I am in this for the entertainment. I think aliens are cool. That's about it. Don't expect much more from me other than that. But Rich, you were speaking about Avilo before, and Josh was in an interview. You was in the room with the man himself. So you was speaking. I heard you speak about this, and you seem a bit like you smell a bit of fish there, Rich.
Well, you know, it's just, I know he's from Harvard. I get it. And I know they're going to try to do it, you know, pointing their laser telescopes out into the middle of nowhere, actually near planets that are in the Goldilocks zone, I guess. They're going to try to see if they can find a UFO. Like something like a Muamua. That's what they want to find in interstellar space, or maybe go, you know, to another galaxy. But what about the stuff that's in between from point A to point B? How do they know what's out there floating? I mean, anything can just get in the way and throw that whole thing off. And I know they have to triangulate it with other telescopes and do all that stuff. So that's going to really proof what work they're doing. But I'm almost feeling like Avi Loeb is an attention seeker. Just because he works at Harvard doesn't mean he's not human, right? Yeah. Well, believe me, there's people that work at Harvard all over the world that have crazy thoughts. I think he's going to say something got triangulated, or some of the data is going to be messed up, and it's not going to be a UFO. It's not going to be anything except a lie. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that somebody's going to get desperate, and in 2 to 3 years, that's going to happen. And I don't want to see that happen, but I'm making a prediction it will. Something like that. Does it make sense?
It's a good point. I mean, it does make sense, to be fair. I see your point, but I mean, in terms of this, I mean, it's literally just started, and it's
right. I know. That's why I said 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. So,
and then
I mean,
this way they get
years,
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, sorry, Rich.
I was just going to say, this way they get the funding, you know, they get everything they need to keep that project going. It's an interesting way to look at the universe and look for UFOs and whatnot, but it's like the smallest needle in the biggest haystack you've ever imagined.
And also, it's stuff we've already done before anyway. It's stuff we've already done anyway. I mean, like the work what SETI have done over the years as well. It's the
SETI's
same sort
radio
of work,
waves.
really, you know.
Listen, in the next
the
next 3 to 6 years, things are going to be very different.
And what if it isn't? Then what do we do? We go another 3 to 6 years?
No. That theory I was talking about.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah, no, honestly, and I'm going to be able to substantiate what I'm saying. I'm going to make a prediction, but it's going to be like, oh my God, like this has to happen.
I pray it happens.
I'm not even kidding. Like, again, but it's what it is. I'm telling you now, I don't think that's the plan. I don't think that's tenable at this point. There's too much going on. Like, we know for the fact that our pilots are being intercepted by UFOs daily, that air traffic is starting to bleed over into commercial airspace.
Yep.
This is increasing.
And what's with the jetpack, man?
That's another interesting thing, another weird sort of thing. Honestly, I think that's a distraction. I think that's somebody trying to use maybe some type of technology to goof things up, kind of like that. What was it? That woman? That woman that just made that ridiculous press conference.
Anjali, yeah.
Oh God, yeah, man. Like,
she was on Jimmy Church last night.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, but that's just like, you have to come to my secret cave. Why? They fly.
That's where the base is,
they launch
though.
battleships with thousands of people. Why do you have to go into a small cave with like 3?
Because it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like some spiritualist nonsense.
Yeah.
Because it is. And I think that, and I'm wondering if, like, honestly, she's allegedly she has some intelligence credentials. If that's so, I'm wondering
pilot,
if she's
too.
I'm wondering if she's trying to some way of interference for things like TTSA.
Oh,
Like, if you
right.
see Lou Elizondo, and it is not like that. In fact, he speaks against those things. Chris Mellon is not doing that stuff either. Now she runs in interference, like, hoo, look, you know.
That's
it looks
true.
it looks.
Didn't
Yeah, it
Alessandro
looks,
refer to them as demons at one point, though?
yeah, so this is maybe one of these people. Like, listen, do you remember the citizens hearing back in 2013?
Mm-hmm.
During the citizens hearing, there was a guy, like, there was this fat, weird-looking white dude, and he had a crystal strapped to his head.
Talk about Lee like that.
Oh no.
No, he had a crystal strapped to his head, right, with like a little silver disc on it, right, and a T-shirt that said "Hello, Darrow" on it. Now, the Darrow are supposed to be these race of people that live underground. Is one of these alternative explanations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy is there, and he sits in these rows, like right next to the speakers. You can see him in the background of some of the clips, right? Washington Post goes and does a story about it. It's a big photo of him looking like an idiot, you know, while they talk about the citizens hearing. You know, years later, Washington Post would start talking about UFOs as being real. But the point is, we had all of these major players, international people coming together, and they peppered the audience with weirdos, and then they made sure to focus on the weirdest one. And then it turns out that guy, when they investigated him, had an intelligence background.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so this is
it's obvious.
I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
So again, dude, I've been doing this a long time.
Oh my
and
god.
I know the behind the scenes shit. People usually just hear the story, and the thing is, the behind the scenes stuff is the really interesting stuff. That's just I don't understand how more of this doesn't come out, but especially with all these people talking about UFOs in community. But yeah, and it's a rough game, and not everybody likes us, and we have enemies.
DarkSKY's Rich.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
I was on mute.
So you put out a lot of content on YouTube, and you put like like clips that I can't even find, that you like old clips and stuff like that, of things that have gone off, that I think, where's he got this from? And it's brilliant to have that content there ready, and some stuff that's been missing for ages. You find all this content, but out of these pieces that you put out, is there somebody that you think that we speak about on a regular basis that is a big player in this, that you think, you know what, this person quite possibly can be trusted?
I mean, I think that the trust part and big player, it's two different things, right? I mean, because before anyone is going to trust someone, they're gonna like the person, right? And they're gonna see people like, you know, freaking David Wilcock and, you know, Stephen Greer and all these guys. Yeah, there you go.
I didn't. I was just saying thank you to Gavin for the beer funds there. Thank you, Gavin. That just fell into place.
And unfortunately, it's like, you know, that's the face, right? It's like that's what they see, and they get into it, and it's great. I mean, because to me, like, I mean, I saw that stuff, and I was interested, you know, just as much, but you realize quickly it's a bunch of fabricated stories. So, like anyone you can really trust, it's so tough. Like, honestly, I went from reading things, you know, just, you know, books, movies, content, whatever stuff online, the big name players that everyone would know, to really reading and following what folks like you and GUFON and Osvaldo and everyone else are, you know, is saying in the field. Like, you know, what are these guys' opinions? Like, what is their take on this? I mean, because I mean, I think that's the real information. So, and I'm not just saying that. Like, I know, I mean, you know, Third Phase and Moon as well. It's like, I think everyone's trying to get the message out as quickly as possible, and and soak it in and figure out what the answer is. So I think really the truth comes from you guys. It's the ones that are talking all the time in the field. So yeah, I think that's my take on it.
You get some version of the truth between us all.
I mean, you have to listen to everyone, right? It's like a puzzle. You have to listen to a little bit of GUFON, a little bit of Osvaldo, a little bit of
we all do it, yeah.
I mean, you guys, and once you once you put everything together and kind of divulge that information on your own and kind of let it sink in. I mean, I think that's how you come up with the truth, right? So
next, go ahead, Ali. Sorry.
No, you go, Rich.
Well, I was just going to add about this Anjali girl, because next week or a week or two, she's supposed to be going out, taking the researchers to this cave, but now all of a sudden there's problems making things happen. See, they're already running into problems.
Yeah, the cabal has stuck to their old tricks again.
Yeah.
I want to.
all those things in a wheelchair, by the way, guys. I mean, let's not forget that she had that pimped out wheelchair that she was in.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have. So did you? I had UFO proof on a few weeks before she said that, and he said that there's an alien base at the exact place that she said.
But we know
people that's scuttlebutt. People know where their stuff is, and you can actually get reliable information, though. I mean, like honestly, I could say that aliens landed at a crash at Roswell.
No, I just find it weird. I just find it a little bit weird that he said that. He came on and it was like trying to get him to fucking bleed green blood, trying to get him to tell the story. And I'm I get a bit frustrated with that, because it's like, come on, you just fucking pulling my leg here. Then all of a sudden he said, and I didn't expect it. He just said, I saw fucking ships come out of a rock. There's an alien base in so. And with guests, I don't really make it my. But the thing is, this is weird with this Oz. Is a few weeks later, this woman has come out and said, "This lady, whatever. I don't want to. Don't call me a woman.
Anjali.
Female, yeah. This lovely lady has made claims of the same place that there is an alien base. So there's two things there. Either Kyle from UFO Proof actually saw flying saucers coming out of a cave, and this woman has witnessed it as well, or she just seen the show and she's just decided to go on the back of that. I don't see that.
Or he read her book.
It could be a lot of things.
She has a book. I don't know this.
Yeah, she has a book out there, and there was hints of her coming out and setting up this thing. So he could have taken could have read it somewhere, or I don't know. But
well, no, people have seen stuff like that.
People, I was just gonna say,
legit people that are who they claim they are have seen shit like that. Could Kyle have seen something like that? That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Could that lady have seen some shit like that? Yeah, there are crazy people that have seen these things.
But we never get to see it. Why can't they just give it to the world? And she says she's not a whistleblower because she's going to bring it out to the world.
In the cave.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the Mormons, like when Joseph Smith put his head in the guide stone, and only people that were good could look at the guide stone. When they would look in, they wouldn't see anything. Oh, well, you aren't fair enough.
The way she described them, they did sound beautiful, angelic, but she said that this isn't about religion. I mean, she said this is a factual thing. I mean, but let me tell you, when I listened to her, there was so much deception going on. Yeah. It was painful to listen to, unless that's the way she talks.
Dude, it quacks. It quacks. Not everything with a bill quacks, but this does quack.
It's pretty bad. She couldn't remember simple things. And he's like, well, Jimmy goes, how long were you walking for? How long big do you think the cave is? Oh, I don't. We were walking for at least 2 minutes or something. She goes, I don't really remember. I wasn't paying attention.
Near the entrance of the cave. 2 minutes isn't very long.
I know.
It does it like, come on, like they're barely hiding it in the cave. It's sticking out. There's a bit of saucer, sticking out of the side.
And then they didn't walk out of the cave. They magically appeared back into the guy's house who bought the mountain where this thing is at. So I
Oh,
think.
it'd be great if they're building something there to fool people.
Hey, man, if it's true, that would be awesome.
Oh no,
That would be
yeah,
awesome.
I would love for that to happen.
We've heard it before, though.
Yeah, dude, I would have loved to have ascended in 2012, even though I told everybody that was bullshit then too. I said, I'll see you in 2013. Guess what? All those same people were still here.
Maybe we did. Maybe we did die in 2012. But
Right.
Now we're all in fucking purgatory.
It
Yes.
feels like it.
It fucking does.
No.
Some ways it is, right?
Yeah,
Social media is a symptom of that.
The field that I think I mean, I'm not, it's not quite at the end yet, but the conclusion that I'm kind of hearing here is that trust nobody, and keep your wits about you. That nobody is right, and at the end of the day, the people that argue, I sometimes see people argue in the chat. Maybe you should just say, you know what, let's just talk about this, because none of you fuckers can prove that you're right. Not one person. If somebody tells me they've seen Jesus, who am I to tell them that they've not? Because
Yeah, but UFOs are different because you never find somebody, oh, look, I saw Jesus and they left the sandal behind.
Yeah, but he keeps
none of
turning up
that.
on pieces of toast, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe sometimes we get a bit of UFO. Or our trouble.
the problem is, though, and this is one thing that keeps popping up here. Oh, there he is. He disappeared. There we are. There he is. Josh is back. The problem that we have is, and Rich, you've spoke about it plenty of times. I spoke about it plenty of times. Oz, you refuse. You said you've had your experience with it, but it's something completely separate. Whether you believe it or not, I don't know. Josh, I've just kind of met you, and you've briefly spoken about a little bit of this. Lee, we've had our discussions on it. Just spit it out, alien addict. The paranormal. So we talk about this. Always seems to seep into this subject, and Oz, you act like it doesn't belong in this subject. My argument. Listen, Oz, just for 1 second. Hear me out here. Okay, so this shit happens. There's weird shit that happens on Earth. Whatever that is, whether that's just our minds playing tricks on us, whether it's the Matrix glitching, I don't know. But for one thing that I will tell you, it's definitely real because it happens, because I've experienced it myself. And I'm sure many people that are in the chat or watching this video right now have had stuff that's gone on in their life that they thought there is not a cat in hell's chance that was just coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, that's true. But that's not what they think it is.
Bear with me here. Okay? So is there room in this whole entire universe, galaxy, all of it, the whole cosmos, is there room for both? Maybe the extraterrestrials have figured it out. Maybe they know what it's all about. Maybe there's an interest in here. There's an interest in this place because this is close to something. This planet. Wait, I'm talking. There's this planet. It is close to something that they, and that's why there's such an interest.
Listen,
and I'm not saying that all these different species have this interest, but there seems to be an interest in us little hairy bastards on Earth. They are interested.
Yeah, but not in that.
We can't do much. We can't do much. How much can you do with our bodies? There's an interest there, but but we all experience very weird things in our lives, all of us.
Well, if that was the case, then the extraterrestrials would have this super advanced technology. They come from their planet to here, and then they would be hanging out at the airport like the Hare Krishnas, handing out their pamphlets if they wanted to convert us into some type of spiritual.
No, I don't think you get where I'm coming from with that. I don't even know if I know where I'm coming from with it. But what I'm saying.
Tom DeLonge says something real interesting, and it's a fact. Spirituality is a placeholder for all the shit we don't understand. That's all.
He also said that
once we figure it out and it's not so mysterious, it goes into the science box.
Mm-hmm.
We put it in a place that makes sense, or it's functional for our purposes, and then we move on to other things. That's
Fills in
the
the gaps,
same
yeah.
thing that's going to happen. Like the analogy I used to use before, people used to worship lightning,
Right.
and now we utilize it, and we don't think of it as this, like, a punishment from a guy in the sky who's mad at you because you masturbated. It's
Oh, God, I would be fucked.
yeah, no, nobody's been charged to death, and everybody would be like, dead. But and people believe shit like that for the longest time, and we're better off without it. It's the same thing. Are there psychic powers? Yes. Are there ghosts? Yeah. Are there these are these other things? Sure, but they're not. You don't have to go to a swami or a guru to get access to that shit.
So are you telling me there that you think ghosts exists?
No, I know they exist.
Okay.
I know for a fact
So
they
if you was an extraterrestrial, yeah, would you not find ghosts more? If you had that amazing technology, what I'm saying to you is, yes, there's aliens. Yes, they're visiting Earth. If that's what it is, okay. I have no idea. It might be something completely different. I have no idea. Would you not agree that the paranormal to an extraterrestrial species would be a hell of a not because if it exists here, it exists in their reality.
More advanced than
Okay,
we are, they would have already mastered it. To them, it wouldn't be a
so
big
they
deal.
mastered it. So it's not a big deal. So it's just you're saying it's just a part of every day.
They've already incorporated that into their science, into their mainstream, and probably a long time ago.
So the spiritual,
no,
whatever you want to call it.
The good.
So
parts,
what is it then? What is it?
What few facts that are in spirituality have been taken from them, spirituality as a whole, harvested, repurposed, and used scientifically.
But you're already telling me now that you think ghosts exist. You think there's
but
because you've seen and we spoke about this. So what I'm saying, and if they figured that out, does that have anything to do with some of the technology that they use?
Yeah, it does. Like, for instance, if these people have the ability to travel through hyperspace, they have some type of hyperdimensional technology. Now, does that mean that there are entities that are non-corporeal or exist in other dimensions around us? Yes, that is true. I believe that.
See, this all sounds very woo-woo.
You're saying that is true?
Not quite so much. Not like, again, there's been a lot of very interesting stuff going on in the scientific community for quite some time.
I don't think you can say it is true.
There's a bit more than a theoretical. There's a bit more than a theoretical.
I was just
what was the question?
Let them.
Dark Skies?
We had both Rich and Lee.
I appreciate that comment. I'm just like, but I mean, if you could provide more context, because I'm definitely not familiar with any of that you just said. So,
all right.
Go ahead. Yeah, provide the context.
All right.
Wait a minute, Rich. Before Oz provides the contents of that, Rich and Lee, and Josh, if you want, you chime in with that because Lee, you wanted to say something, and then Rich wanted to say something on the back of that.
To me, it just sounds like you're taking like the woo-woo stuff that you so easily discounted before, and just saying, "Oh well, when it becomes science, it's fine." So,
no,
but the problem is you're discounting stuff.
No, listen. Again, it goes back to like the analogy I made about electricity, lightning.
Okay, let's hold that, folks. Lee's just said that. Rich, what did you want to say?
I don't remember, to be honest.
That's fine. Josh, in terms of have you ever wondered about the two of them together, the paranormal world and the or are you completely atheist? I don't believe in any of that shite.
No, I mean, I'm definitely not an atheist. I'm kind of like an agnostic, I guess you'd say. So I'm open to anything, really. I think with this topic as well, I mean, there's a lot of theories about UFOs and aliens being from like another dimension or something. I mean, that could be what ghosts are. They could just be from another place altogether. And they're trying to that could be the link there. And you mentioned about the scientific research before. That's what it's always been throughout time. I mean, there's always like the woo-woo side of everything until you have the scientific data and research to prove something. So in terms of ghosts, I mean, you've got to have an open mind, really, and not
Oh,
really say
like
no, they
Alexander
don't
Graham
exist,
Bell
you know?
was into spirituality, tried to
Yeah.
make it work. Instead, we got phones.
Yeah.
How about that?
True.
How about that? That's how,
But that was a long time
that's
ago,
how you
though. That was a long
harvest
time ago now.
stuff out of spirituality and you make it real. And then we don't, and then that goes away and you don't even think about it anymore. That's the same thing that's going to happen with even these things like people like things like telepathy, ESP, even ghosts. I think that those things are going to have rational scientific explanations. And I don't mean it in a debunking sort of way. I mean, like we'll probably find out that what we call ghosts are probably beings that exist in a different type of physicality. They're not really dead people that have come back. These are just beings that live adjacent to us, and sometimes the conditions are there that things interact, like some type of quantum storm, if you will. And there's like, sometimes these barriers temporarily, dissipate, or there's a mineral deposit.
What about human beings?
In such a way that the local space-time is a bit more malleable.
What about
in other spots normally? So
okay,
for instance, so you could see somebody that was like, hold on, wait a second. You could see somebody that was like dressed in 1865 clothes, right? But that could just be like a record or a space-time recording of somebody that was there in 1865. Doesn't mean he's still there. Those are just photons.
Okay. What about reincarnation then? What about people having memories and past lives? Because
so there's several.
Wait a minute. I'm not. It's not just to you that Oz. It's to kind of everybody, because that I do believe is a thing. I think people definitely have memories of shit. I remember as a boy having this dream constantly over and over again about being in this house as a small boy. I can't really remember it now, but I remember it was over and over again. I had a dream, and it was only in later life I thought, oh, maybe I was somebody else. But I remember being in this old looking house, and I always thought, what if that was a past life? My father, he's told me stuff about his childhood that he's had. I mean, my dad actually says he can remember being born, and I think that must be the most hideous thing to remember coming out of your mother's Jaxie.
Reverse fucking your own mother. Yeah, I'm not into that.
Jesus Christ. but these weird things happen in life. You hear the story about. I mean, there's one that does stand out about the little boy that was intrigued with the World War II planes. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about that. But you look at these stories and you look at the interviews of the people, and these people don't look like your average little hoax. It actually looks like a real story from a real human being with emotions that are seeing stuff.
Well, yeah.
Seeing stuff, remembering stuff from a past life.
Well, that's the thing. What if it's a function of instinct? What if maybe you're not remembering your past life per se, but some type of data from some other relative or something, or an ancestor that's encoded in some type of how it's being processed by your brain? Or what if...
Are you talking about Matrix?
Or what if another possible solution to that is since we have remote viewing and we know, there's something to this, maybe your consciousness went someplace else, like a while ago, and you did experience that, but you weren't physically there or in another
Okay, that's
body.
interesting.
You're just, your consciousness was someplace else for a while, and that happens. I've experienced that myself. That's a real thing. At the same time, like the explanations that we have are like child's explanations. Oh, it was an ancestor and they're upset. No, it might be a weird type of animal made out of some type of energy, or an even advanced being that, that just coexists adjacent to ourselves. A type of crypto-terrestrial, I guess you could call it. But that's the thing. I think that a lot of these weird stories, like it's kind of like, you have leprechaun stories and fairy stories, and now we have UFO stories. What makes more sense to you?
But these stories have to come from something. A lot of stories.
Aliens make more sense.
What happens if these
know?
things are? What happens though if these things are essentially magic?
They are essentially magic.
No. And science is desperately trying to come
Listen,
to terms with it.
it is what they're doing. It's not a what if. Isaac Asimov said that advanced technology to a primitive being would seem like magic as much as
that's not what I mean.
Oh,
That's
no, it is. It's
No,
exactly
you
what
talk
you
about
need to
real magic.
scale up.
You talk about
what I'm
real.
talking about is something unexplainable
Well,
that science is scrambling to try and explain.
That's the same thing. That's the same
it's
thing.
not
man.
us. You're
No,
not.
it
You
is.
don't. You,
And I'll
you're not
explain
getting
why.
me.
I'll explain
No,
why.
you can't explain my own fucking points.
Look, I have a magic mirror. Look at my magic mirror. I know what's training on the other side of the world.
Oz, hear Lee out.
Don't try and tell me you can explain my own points to me. You don't get what I'm saying, Oz. It's not what you're trying to say. That's not what I'm saying to you.
Okay. All right, dude. Are you sure?
Yeah. What I'm saying is,
Are you
what
sure?
if this is unexplainable by science?
I'm
What
saying,
if
man,
it's
'cause you don't get some
impossible?
stuff.
What if it's impossible to explain?
Kind of expressive.
What if this subject is impossible to explain by human comprehension, and science is desperately trying to explain it and is incapable of doing so?
So you build an AI.
Right.
You use more science.
Totally agree with that.
That's the way you solve the problem. Is not, oh, this is beyond science. No. There's nothing. You're going to have a box with an IQ of 500 on your computer and on your desk in about 20, 30 years. There's not a lot that we're not going to be able to explain. And even if there's stuff that even the AI can't answer, and that's quite possible, the things that the AI will be able to do will keep regular folks busy for
Oz, I have to say there, what Lee's just said there about scientists not being able to explain what it is, I have to say I am on board with 100%. I'm not saying what it is, but I don't think they know their ass from their elbow. I think they're trying the hardest. I think they are trying the hardest to figure it out. But I honestly.
Oh yes, you know what? That is true. But then fast forward 100 years. All that'll be gone. All those questions you have will be answered, and then they'll be on to things that you won't be able to comprehend.
Well, even 100 years, it might not be 100 years.
Yeah, it might be.
It might not even be. It might be 1,000 years. It could be a million years.
I think it's going to be sooner. I think it's going to be a lot
never
sooner.
happen.
Yeah, really, honestly.
We could destroy ourselves. You can't predict the future. You're saying if everything and we keep ourselves together, yeah, we should be able to have something in 100 years. I think.
We still don't know how the pyramids were built.
I know.
Yeah, we do. It was water. They used hydraulics to build the pyramids. They've actually found reliefs that show it, and it makes a lot of sense physically. And then the legends where they floated the bricks into place actually makes sense if you have control over water. Does that make
sense when you look at
again,
the time?
that's not proven though.
But not everywhere. Not all the pyramids.
Isn't it something like every 20 seconds a block needed to be quarried and laid for it to be finished in that?
Oh yeah, no, there's
still
issues.
20 years.
It's still issues.
Well, that's impossible,
the
right?
Water thing makes a lot
human explanation is impossible. To quarry one of those blocks, move it and lay it every 20 seconds.
No. The quarrying of the rocks is not what I'm explaining.
But I'm talking about building the pyramids. To do it in the time scale. To do it in the time scale, you had to quarry.
No, there's other issues, but we know
move and lay a block. You couldn't do that with bricks. You couldn't. You couldn't.
Do you know about hydraulics? Like how you displace water?
No, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. So you couldn't do it. You couldn't physically quarry, move, and lay one of those blocks every 20 seconds for 24 hours in the time scale it was.
For 30 years, by the way.
25 years.
Yeah,
right.
There's no chance you can do that. Yeah.
Something's got to break.
You couldn't do that with normal bricks. Normal brick size, you couldn't make, move, and put those into a house and build the pyramids in that time scale.
So true.
I've seen that hydraulics thing. I had a guy on my show who created that concept. Mm-hmm. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, I almost believed
that's functional. That's functional.
I know. Yeah, it's functional.
That's probably the best explanation right now.
But it's still fucking daft.
But what about all the pyramids? They didn't have access to the Nile River like they did.
Yeah.
Well, also some of those, like the pyramid is also built on top of much larger natural stone formation. There's stuff that it's built on. It turns
Okay, but
out.
what?
In addition, so they didn't really.
On the back of
build
what
that
Rich is
much.
just saying
mean
there, why is the pyramids all over the world?
Oh, that's probably because of a cultural remnant of,
They just popped up. It's like
No,
this
that-
technology came out just
the
like
same way.
the
Then.
last
No,
100 years.
I think that's a remnant of something older.
There's also megalithic
yeah?
structures
Could
built
be.
without the fucking river there as well, to transport. So.
Right.
Well, you can.
Right.
Well,
That's
you
my
could,
point. Yeah.
you could theoretically irrigate, to get water to depending.
Herculean effort.
For a man that believes in science, you're doing an awful lot of fucking make believe.
Excuse me.
With like to
No, honestly,
putting
dude,
things in place.
you're constantly coming at me, and you don't understand what I say.
No, he
right?
wasn't
I'm
being
really
offensive.
specific. No, dude, I tried to warn you about Stephen Greer, and you called me, said I was lying, and then all this stuff came out right after I said that shit.
Lee's not a great. Lee's definitely not a great.
I'm not a fan of Greer.
Yeah,
not a fan at all. I think you'll find I call him a snake or something more than anything.
But what I said was too hard to believe, right? Even though people are like coming out the woodwork.
You never say anything, Oz. You
Yeah,
never
I
say
did,
anything.
dude.
You always say something's coming soon, something's going to be here. You said the same thing with the what came out in the dossier that came out.
Yes, that was right. It came out.
Yeah, no, but you thought it was
Yes.
going to be the holy grail of ufology at first.
It is. We got over the hump. This is
Really?
enormous. What are you talking about? Do you not have a perspective of history? Do you know where we've come from to get to this point?
Keep talking.
That's an enormous Herculean
But we still don't
effort,
have
dude.
evidence.
We still don't have anything.
This was an enormous Herculean effort. Dude, we have...
It's exactly the same as
we
the Condon
have
report, which came out
they
years
are-
ago. It's exactly the same scenario.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly the same.
not quite, because the Condit report was meant to stop this. This seems to have the opposite purpose. They want to wrap this up. That's the difference.
All the same information that we've been hearing for the last since it
Exactly.
began. Since
Yes,
it
but
began.
the same way the spin was negative, now the spin is positive. This is being undone slowly.
We just got dropped on. I'm telling you, go to my channel, dude. I can show you literal documentaries from the '60s.
I've seen all of those, man. I've been up and down, left and right. I know what you're going to probably see.
It's
So-
all the same information, man.
It's recycled stuff, and dude, they've tried to do this before. Before TTSA, there was Cosmic Journey. Ever hear of Cosmic Journey?
I've heard it.
Okay. Before that, there was all the early UFO documentaries were made by the Air Force. In fact,
Right.
they even have SEALs, and they thank people, dude. The guys that were responsible for the Condit report, a bunch of them later in life became ufologists. They didn't.
But how is any of the information that they shared with us recently new? It's not.
It's
not new.
It's not
We're-
new. Again,
You
it's
just-
the
you
spin.
just said it,
The
right?
same way the
The
spin was
conclusions
used
are
to shut
exactly
it
the
down
same
in
as the
Condit
Condon
report.
report. Exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
it is
but the
just to
spin
get funding
is-
for black secret
It really
projects.
is literally a funding project.
Listen, you
That's
want
all
this?
is.
Listen,
It really is.
you say that like that doesn't make
Oz,
it
this is not.
I
This
know,
is
I
not.
know.
This is not a
Of course it's
bashing.
being used.
This is
No,
an
no, listen.
open
That
discussion.
doesn't negate.
I like
Listen,
it.
it doesn't negate that. Okay, they want to use it to make more money and weapons. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, are you stupid? Of course. Why are you? But people keep saying that like they're making a point. It's like, no, like this is like, we need to stop the weaponization.
Because they're not giving it to the
already.
public yet.
But that's not what we're saying though. The point, like what we're actually saying is it's nothing new.
Right, that's all.
No, it isn't new.
Not
No, this has
new.
been going on for decades. Again, the spin is what's new.
That's
The fact that as opposed
the
to
whole point.
turning
that's
it
the point
against
they're
us,
making.
trying to turn it around. And this
Okay.
is that report was the first major crack in the dam.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So what happens in September? We go
we're
step by step.
we're already seeing international fallout from this, and there's more is coming.
All right.
Patience, things like, dude, we got
I ran out of that. Yeah. It's tough when they promise us everything and then we get 9 pages and now we got to wait another 3 months. And even Lou Elizondo said the 180 days wasn't enough time. I'm like, we've had 70 years. This stuff's stacked up in a room. Just go grab it.
Well, they got to get their story straight.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while.
It reminds me of that Christmas that the PlayStation first came out, and my birthday's close to Christmas, and I got a PlayStation control pad from my grandma, and I'm like, holy shit!
But not the actual
no.
And for Christmas, I got a Philips CDI, and I swear to God, I could have headbutted my mum and dad. It's a true story.
Oh my God.
I think, Oz, I appreciate you. I appreciate your knowledge in the field. I appreciate your passion for it. But
We all do.
I would love you to open up to the idea of it's possible that these fuckers are lying to us.
Yeah.
You know,
Again.
No, listen, there's nothing but, dude,
because I love you.
who said we're getting full disclosure?
Nobody.
Like, again, who said this isn't not being spun?
But
I
you said
never
the whole,
said
that's
that.
Holy Grail talk right there, though.
Dude, everything gets spun. This is life.
I know,
Everything
but
is utilized. The old saying, never waste a good a catastrophe, and also in chaos opportunity.
I say we haven't gotten anywhere in 40 years, and you're going to say I'm wrong, and I know why.
We got
but,
somewhere recently.
Yeah, recently, but it's still not that. I mean, we don't see any evidence. We don't see. It's a lot of talk, a lot of spin. I just want that one next level. I want them to up it for me. That's all. We all want that.
Yeah, well, that seems to be where things are.
I know.
There's been
That's why we're
plenty
all
of this is it
frustrated, that's
moments,
all.
isn't there? There's been plenty of this is it moments.
Well, that's science.
But even no, I'm not
I'm
talking
saying
about
like Ollie, like
hang
remember
on
when
a sec,
PlayStation
just-
came out?
Whoa, whoa,
When
whoa,
PlayStation 2 came out, that was it.
whoa. When you had the the ex-Canadian defense minister come out, and he started talking about multiple aliens engagement with the planet and stuff like that, and that felt like, oh my word, this is the beginning of something, and it was the beginning of fuck all.
You're talking about Paul Hellyer, yeah?
Yeah.
The guy. He's the guy.
just passed away,
Rest in peace, Paul. I got excited by that.
So did I. I got very excited by it.
First heard
You had
about
that
that.
guy from. You had the general from. I think it was Iran as well. Came out. Was it last year or saying something similar? But Trump was involved in some sort of a galactic a federation or something as well. I think that was last year. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if
it
you
was
guys heard
last
about that.
It is.
Yeah, it was last November or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
All
that's,
Galactic
sorts of stuff,
Federation?
but
honestly, that's probably there's just
Yeah.
rumors and telephone.
yes, speculation
story-
at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's a nugget of truth, and then it gets stretched out into all manner of shit.
But here's the thing, Oz, here, and this is where my frustration comes in: is how do you know that the information that you get is right and the information that we get is wrong?
Because the information that I get fits with
Your view.
not my. How about fits with science? Yeah, dude, I don't do magic like you. I'm not like I do science. I do like shit has to make sense.
I think
it
you're
has to work.
dogmatic
It
with it,
has to
though.
be functional. Pardon?
I think it's dogmatic the way you look at it, though.
Yeah, you would. You don't understand.
I don't. Well,
That's fine.
That's
you,
great.
don't, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. I think.
No,
at
I
some
don't get it
point
because you
will.
don't say anything else. You don't. You just say the
I'm
same
saying
thing all
more
the time.
I'm saying more. Dude, really?
You say more than everybody else. I agree with that.
Okay, dude. All right. All right.
It's not a bashing. It's just like
No. But he keeps misinterpreting things that I say. Like this.
No, but
Like,
you don't turn
even
around and
Rich
say
caught
that
him
you don't
earlier on.
understand.
This is like, dude,
it's debating.
game?
We are debating. This is the whole point to this.
It
This
doesn't
is the
seem
whole-
like a legitimate.
don't
Well,
like
just
it
to
when
back
people disagree.
Osvaldo up, Lee was way off base
Yeah.
twice, and I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
Is he
Lee keeps
joking?
attacking me.
Lee,
those are
no
attacks, Lee.
offense, man.
Check it out.
But it
dude.
was a trip.
Well,
You'll
Dude,
see.
those are attacks. You attacked me a
Okay.
couple times today. No, it's not okay.
No, but you've done the same to me before.
No, not really. But I will.
Yes, you
I
have.
will.
Yes, you
Oh,
have.
no. No,
You've
I
done it on
haven't.
previous shows.
Well, let's all be friends. Let's all be friends. You know, it's. I might change the name to Alien Love. There you go.
Oh, that's not bad.
Good name. Good name. I don't want to do these shows to have to make
No,
people
it's fine.
to,
dude.
to,
I'm
to
tough.
do
I
some
can handle it.
to do
It's
some
like-
but
Water off a duck's back.
I do get the frustrations with everybody. I get the frustrations with you, Lee. I get the frustrations with you, Oz. I get the fact that both DarkSKYs and Josh are frustrated that they wanted to get a word in edgeways, and you know, I just get that GUFON's just frustrated with life in general. You know, I get that, but at the same time, I really do think that every motherfucker on this world does not really have we don't have a clue. I think there's something going on.
No.
I think there definitely is people that are onto something, that have these little snippets, and I'm telling you, it's nipples of information that they're getting, but they still, with this, they are still testing the water. And I honestly think when it comes to people that I'm speaking to on a daily basis, I get emails about bloody shadow figures, all sorts of stuff. That the paranormal part definitely is playing a part in this. And for scientists not to look into this.
I was going to say as well, just with the research, what's went on with Skinwalker Ranch as well over the past few years. You know, that's the UFOs, it's paranormal, it's dimensional stuff. That's under one roof, really. So in terms of the paranormal side of things, like I completely agree with you. Like that's all linked to the same phenomenon, in my opinion, 100%. You know, and we can't discount that side of things. We have to research every side of the topic. You know, that's how we're going to get the answers at the end of the day. But yeah,
so I'm probably the only drunk here that's not swinging at people. You know, I'm really kidding.
I'm sober.
The subject's frustrating. I get that. I think everybody is, and this is why I wanted to to be honest with you, I would love to do this with more people that are on this completely the science side with you and split the room. That would be a great show, because I would like to sit, but I want to keep it. I'd love to keep it civil.
But the problem is like those guys won't come on the show. I don't mean that as an insult. It's just they're not.
Well, that
like they're more like they will more like.
Maybe they should think outside the box, Oz. Maybe they should.
I think there's a handful of people that would be willing to do that, Ollie. I really do. Yeah. I think it's now it's a different topic, right? I think both people from both sides are actually coming together and trying to collaborate and come up with answers, because both sides realizes you need one without the other. You can't do this without both sides at this point. I'm saying it's just
you can't.
You have to get together, and we all got to get along, and we all have to figure out a way to figure this out. You know, or you know, come up with the right answer. No one's right or wrong. No one has the information right now. No one has all the data. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. It's tough. It's tough digging through all those different, you know, avenues of information. So, I mean, you can spend years just digging through just the Australian files of, you know, of you know, declassified information, the documentation alone. I mean, there's thousands of pages of information there. No one ever searches through it. So, I mean, there's a lot of information that I think a lot of people need to go through, but at this point, I think it's more of everyone coming together and just figuring out what the right answer is.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it any better, Rich. That the thing is, none of us have a clue. I think Oz, I think you've got all the information that you're getting, and you know the field. But I think that there's certain things that you probably won't. You probably won't even look into it, because you in yourself you thought I'm refusing to look into that because that's not science. That is just.
I've done this 30 years. My mother was a theosophist. I've been through all of these things. I was raised an indigo child. All right, I've seen all this shit. I'm supposedly very spiritually advanced, more than most people, since I was young. It's horse shit. It's horse shit. I'm the one telling you it's horse shit. And it doesn't mean that ghosts aren't real or that there's something to some of this shit. There is. But it's not what people think it is. And it's not this flighty, weirdy shit. And it's not something that fits in with what they're saying it is. There are better explanations for these same exact things. And those explanations are scientific.
So
Just new
without
concepts in science.
without sounding like a broken record here, Rich, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say to sum up what he's saying, it's unknown science. So whatever category he wants to throw it in, that's fine.
But still, science. Instead of spirituality, let's call it X.
Yeah, no one's debating that. You're just very defensive, I think.
I think if somebody shows me this technology working, if somebody shows me, and I'm not talking about a little tiny video of anti-gravity. Are we all still there? Something sounded really weird with the audio then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
Still here, yeah.
I think until somebody shows us this technology properly working, and I'm not talking about a shitty video. I'm not talking about somebody showing something floating in midair and showing the anti-gravity on some shaky little old piece of film or whatever. Until somebody shows us this, then I'm more, and I wasn't, hence the name Alien Addict. It should be chuffing paranormal pub, if anything. I wish I'd have called it that. From the people I have spoken to, I'm more on the dimensional side of this than anything to do with this being visitors from another planet. And whether that lose me subscribers or not, I don't care, because that is how this field is a complete minefield. Pardon the rhyme there, but out of all these smartphones that we have now, all these amazing cameras, there is not one piece of footage that I can look at and go, holy shit, that's the one. And I'm sorry, somebody is going to capture something. It's not just going to be the military.
Especially with amateur photography being so pro now. You know, like it's amateur photographers have got pro line gear, and we've still got nothing.
That's not me saying, Lee, that
no,
there's not something there. There definitely is.
I'm sorry if you think I'm having a go at you, Oz. I just don't agree with a lot of the stuff you say. It's not you personally. I just don't agree with you.
Oh no, that's fine. But then you don't. That's not that.
No, but if you're going to call somebody a jerk, and
no,
then
you've attacked me. You're being a jerk.
And then,
I mean,
and
go
then
look at the
tell
video.
me,
You're being a dick.
and
Is
then
what it is. Again, dude, it's like whatever. Like I'm a dude. Like so what?
And then tell me when I'm trying to talk to you that what I'm saying, I don't understand what I'm saying to you. You know, then you're going to get shouted at.
Understand what I said.
No, you said you were trying to explain to me my point. But like I say, with all the pro line gear and stuff like that, it's just there'd be something more. And you know, I am the living fucking embodiment of the poster in Fox Mulder's room. Like I want to fucking believe, I really do. But you just think to yourself now, we've been in this position, you know, where we've thought. When I was a kid, I remember watching this sort of stuff, and there'd be someone saying, in another 10 years, when they talk about SETI and things like that, in another 10 years, we'll have 100% proof. And then it doesn't happen. Then I'm 20. And then you get the same people saying, in another 10 years, and now I'm 30, and now in another year's time, I'm going to be 40. And I don't think we're going to have anything when I'm 50 or 60 or probably dead.
Well, there will be a day when it does happen, and it could be any day. Ollie, how much longer are we going? I got to do my show.
When's your show start, Rich?
A little bit. About 90 minutes, but I got to get it set up. I got to eat.
Okay, you disappear when you need to disappear, because it's not going to go on for much longer, because I need to click on one of those links that somebody's just banned in the chat. I'm being a dirty little bastard. No, I need to go to bed. I'm knackered. But yeah, Rich, what's your show on tonight?
It was based on what Osvaldo said. I said, we're not idiots anymore. TTSA did one great thing for ufology, maybe two.
See, even Rich is coming around.
Well, I've always said that they're the ones that got the mainstream thing and all that, and brought attention to it. And I didn't think Tom DeLonge was a bad choice at first, but then when you look at it, it wasn't such a bad idea. I mean, he's kind of a go-getter type of guy once you really get to know the story.
Dude, if this works out, Tom DeLonge will end up being.
He's an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur, yeah.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur, but I don't know. To me, he seems like he was an immature choice, like a boy in a man's body type of deal. I don't know, but everything he does is successful. So, that's what's going on
there's
tonight.
Winners in life. There are winners.
Yeah.
There are people that just win for whatever reason, and it's not fair, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and there's people who are losers.
I'm saying, I've dedicated 30 years
of
my life. That guy has seen shit I, desperately want. But it is what it is, and at least he's doing the right thing about it. He's trying his best to bring us in as much as he can. That's like really commendable, and he's risked everything. All those guys at TTSA risked everything, their reputations, their livelihoods. I don't speak under a moniker. I'm Osvaldo Franco. You know what I'm saying? I put my name and my face out there. Same with you, Rich. I know. It's different for us.
I just wish they had better execution on some things. That's all.
Oh yeah, but that takes time. They were a young company starting out, and again, if you think, and I have to agree with Tom DeLonge, if you think that he just lied to a bunch of these guys and are just goofballs doing that, you're very well mistaken. This was very deliberate. There's a plan, and there's something going on. There is a plan.
Right, but they shouldn't have had these poor executions with whatever, because they got the all-stars from all those secret groups all into one place.
Well, part of it was also bad luck. I think Tom DeLonge spoke to Joe Rogan like a week before he got back into UFOs or something. Like it was just shortly thereafter, after he he was actually really like nasty to Tom DeLonge. He actually spoke shit about Tom DeLonge to another guest in the subsequent episode, and the guest was like, yeah, that guy Tom DeLonge is out of his mind. He's full of shit.
Yeah, right.
And then that guy was, yeah, you're right. He's full of shit. And then a couple of weeks after that, the videos leaked, and he's like, what's this? Huh? What? And then the next thing you know, it's a couple of weeks, it's another new UFO program. Now he's back in the. He's of the faith.
But Joe did seem to turn on Tom DeLonge when he showed him that
he did.
fake.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
the CR3B.
That happened when he showed him
video,
that.
yeah.
And after.
Well, that's the thing. At the same time, Tom was holding
went
on.
wrong.
At the same time, Tom was holding on to those other videos. He could have shown him that, but he didn't. Maybe that was a placeholder. Maybe I can't show you this for another couple of weeks because I can get thrown in jail.
But why would you show? That's like. I mean, I interviewed Section 51, like one of the biggest UFO hoaxers out there, who's now come clean. He had to come clean, but he said to me in the interview, he said, you know what? I never thought in a million years that anybody would take that seriously. It's blatant CGI. He's a top bloke, and he said, I never went out there to cause harm. I mean, a lot of people say he did. I interviewed the guy. I don't believe he did, because I think I know what he does for a living. He does CGI, and he loves space. Okay, he plays space games on his channel and stuff like that. He loves anything to do with space, and he was putting faith. But his views were in the millions for his UFO footage. Yeah,
he got addicted to it. Yeah,
he got addicted to it, and he said he wanted to make them better and better and better. But he knew that every news was a hoaxer.
Great movie idea.
Okay. He knew that. He knew that everybody knew that he was a hoaxer.
But not everybody knew. That's why he got in trouble.
But it's like, come on, if I'm gonna, why would anybody believe this? He couldn't believe that people fucking believe in it.
That's right. That's why I can't stand that.
No, but
it waters down everything. The people who don't know get dumber.
Yeah, but
they think that's real.
Yes, no, that's a part
of
the
problem. But his was he was showing spaceships like picking up people and chucking them in the air and stuff like that,
I know, but it looks so good.
Yeah, but
it was great.
People are dumb. I mean, dude, they literally convinced you UFOs.
That's what Tom DeLonge did. He showed a video like Section 51 on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you know what? I actually
I think that would have went. Sorry.
when he showed that alien picture and tried pawning it off as real, like that to me was just, it was all BS. Like I lost all respect for him when I saw that stuff.
What video? I mean, what
When he posted that, when he tweeted that photo of the alien that he said, check it out. He was trying to insinuate this was an alien picture.
Oh, which one? The Bledsoe one?
No, it was before that. It was a couple years ago. It was the green one where it was, you could barely see
the Bledsoe one. That's the Bledsoe one.
Yeah, maybe it was that one. Yeah, I
got that from Bledsoe.
Yeah.
Who's full of shit? All right, I gotta get going.
No worries, Rich. Before you do, I want to do a I want to do a show maybe on, I don't know. We'll just go out there on this because I did think of something after our last show, and I know we've had a lot of, not beef with it, but this little one with the this here, we're gonna come back to that. And I'll tell you why. I'm gonna leave you with this thought. I'm gonna leave you with this one thought, Rich. Has there been a better? This was done in 1995. Has there been a better alien hoax since that?
Like that, there hasn't been another one.
Okay, so nobody's ever been able to recreate something as good as that, and
because nobody's trying.
So that came out in 1995,
right?
Okay, that hoax came. That has been said that it is a hoax. That even that guy came out and said how they did it with the shot
Ray
4 dummy,
Santilli,
and the silly Ray Santilli. Sounds silly.
Silly.
Sounds so silly. Ray sounds so silly.
You know about they tried to NFT what they said was the one legitimate frame?
But what I'm saying, yes, the frame. Yeah, the frame. I got the frame. There we go. Put the frame in your. Put that frame. Put that frame in your bottom. There you go. There's the frame. Right. Okay. Has there been anything since 1995 that is a better, as well done as that hoax?
It doesn't.
According to Stephen Greer, there is, but it's not.
Does. Okay, it may not matter, but it matters to me.
Wait, you're talking about a better hoax?
Yes.
We've had so many hoaxes. We've had so many hoaxes. You look at Skinny Bob, that everybody goes, "Oh, Skinny Bob's real." It's definitely not real. You can tell it's CGI. People, you can tell that it's an animatronic puppet with CGI on top of the animatronic puppet. You can tell that with Skinny Bob. That is not real. People, I get so much hate for my Skinny Bob videos that I've put out because people going, "It's fucking real." But it's not real. It's an animatronic puppet with CGI put over the top. There may be a clip in those, what they called, Ivan
frames.
There may be a few frames in that could be real, and it's weird. Lee did a video about the Skinny Bob. Go check it out on Must See Audio. It is linked in the description, and it's very good. But what I'm saying to you guys is, you guys go watch that alien autopsy right now. You come back to me in the comments and you tell me that you've seen a up-to-date hoax that has been done as well as that from 1995. You tell me that you've seen an alien being chopped up in a film that looks as good as that.
They were making those in the movies in the 70s, and Alien and Friday the 13th. They just got really good at it, and that's probably a real cadaver. That's why it looks so good.
Listen,
that's probably a real body.
Listen, the last two alien bodies things were from the same guy, and it was Greer. There's the Anaconda humanoid, and then that other weird thing that he was just recently that doesn't, like, who knows what the hell that is. Looks like they made a body out of pizza. Really.
Pizza the Hut.
Pizza the Hut, yeah, skinny Pizza the Hut. Almost exactly. But that's about that's it. There's nobody else has tried to do this. No, actually, no. There was a guy in China tried to do something a couple of years ago, and then they threw him in jail because
Jonathan Reed. Yeah, right.
Oh no, that doctor also. There was that doctor,
Jonathan Reed.
Yes.
Before we go, I challenge anybody. Tweet me. I have no idea what my Twitter name is, but it's something Alien Addict. Tweet me, do whatever you want. Message me on Alien Addict. Copy me in a video. Show me one hoax that looks as good as that was done from the UFO Roswell crash.
That looks as good.
Yeah, show me something.
Wait,
show
are you
me...
saying it has to be from the Roswell crash?
No, I'm saying show me anything.
All
Show
right,
me.
all right. I just want to verify.
Show me any alien autopsy. Show me anything. I challenge anybody to show me anything that looks as good as that.
Has to be footage. No, not someone just talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be footage. I don't want to.
Can it be pictures?
Yeah.
No, can't be a picture. I want to see somebody being either chopped up or a really good piece of UFO footage.
Yeah.
Something that looks as real as that.
All right. All right.
It is odd, isn't it?
I'll
When you
try.
look at how much money was made out of that, it's odd that somebody hasn't put the same production value to do it again.
Because
Probably
they
not that
used the
much
real
money
body.
involved in it. Maybe they didn't make that much money. Maybe it's not worth the risk. And honestly, dude, it might be an act of desperation for somebody to embark on that, especially twice.
And besides, that movie is a recreation of the actual film. That's not what you're watching. Isn't the real autopsy? It's a
Eventually they
recreation.
said that. Yeah, and they had one. The film deteriorated so badly they salvaged one little frame of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like whatever. That's over and done with. Unless they bring out a body and they say, "Yep, it's real," and it looks like that thing.
I don't think it is over and done with Oz. I keep coming back to it. I keep coming back to it over and over again. And you go watch it. Go watch it, Oz. That's all I'll say. Go watch
Yeah, I'm going to
I've
watch it
seen it a
again.
bunch of times. It's burned into my memory.
Rich, enjoy your show. What's it on again? It's on what we've been talking about, a little bit about what we've been talking about tonight. And you,
Yeah, and I'll probably show a couple of hoaxes now that you got me thinking. So I've got a couple of hoaxes I'm going to challenge you with.
okay, good man, good
Yeah,
man.
so-
You find something as good as that, and I will buy you a. I'll buy you some of those special sweets that you eat on your show.
You can buy me one of my chickens.
I will buy you. I'll buy you a pink chicken.
Chicken, awesome.
Yeah, I got the invisible one here. It's green, but that's so weird because of the green screen.
It's an evolved being, you know.
Yeah.
Very advanced.
I love it. All right, guys. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful time. Very active. Osvaldo, take care, man.
See you.
Go
Dark
subscribe
Sky.
to GUFON. Description
UAP.
below.
Lee,
See you later,
giddy
buddy.
up. Ollie, and everybody.
Take care, Rich,
Good
mate.
night, everybody.
Take care.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
I'm not saying the alien autopsy is real. I'm just saying it could be real. I'm saying that there's something very strange about you. Okay, Josh, you'll remember the Anton deck. We've come to the end of the show.
Yeah,
I'm like a broken record.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you watch that now, and you watch that alien autopsy. Okay, that I guarantee the Anton deck had a bigger budget than what whoever made that had. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just challenge anybody in the chat, anybody watching this show, to go watch that the original alien autopsy that I believe came out in 1995, and watch it and say that is not a real body being chopped up, and that is silicon. I'm telling you now, that is one of the best special effects I have ever seen in my life from any film.
Yeah,
anything.
that's what that guy said that did the analysis of the video years ago.
Did you see what the doctors said?
Yes, that's the guy I'm talking about. He used to. I think he was the head of forensics for Los Angeles. Like he was a big deal guy, and he was involved in ufology as well. Regularly. He just happened to be called in for those expertise for that specific situation way back when.
Listen, boys, we've been going for nearly 3 hours now, and people. I had a message on one of the videos the other day that said, "Do you think I'm going to watch 3 hours?" So I just messaged back, "Well, now is somebody got a fire?" I just said,
Me.
"Probably not, no, mate, because you just told me that."
Somebody decided to cook Even though he knows I'm doing an interview.
Been there.
Oh, what's he cooking?
I don't know. It smelled like burning butter. Something.
Well, I'm sure it's gonna be nice. But I'll put you on mute, Oz. Don't worry.
Oh, it's done.
Oh, there you go. So, Oz, when is the channel launching? I keep asking you this, and I have put a channel in the description.
Thank you. Hopefully by the end of this weekend, I'm gonna have the first episode done. The second episode, though, is going to be where I'm going to be talking about this theory I've been working on, and it's going to be
everything you've been talking about in the last few videos. The proof that you're going to show, is that going to be on this?
It's going to be the second video is going to be about my theory, and a few episodes after that is going to be that thing that we discussed, the other project of that involves that organization that I did not want to discuss, not the one we were discussing earlier, but the other one with the item.
Right. Cool. Okay. Well, I'll keep the integrity there. Don't you worry.
No, you'll know beforehand, and then we'll do the Q&A after, like we discussed.
Beautiful, my man. Well, Osvaldo Franco, thank you for joining us tonight. Lee, let the guy. What are you doing next?
Podcasts, YouTube stuff. Go sub to the YouTube channel. Go sub to my podcast. Just look for Musty Audio.
And what are you doing? What are you doing on the Musty Audio? What's the next venture?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I quite like the idea of what we were talking about before the show started.
What, some clippage? So
no, something on that different platform. I think.
Oh yes, idea. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that at some other time. But yeah, that could be interesting. And DarkSKY Files.
Hey mate,
you are in the description, but let people know that are in the chat and that are watching the video now what you do and where they can find you.
Yeah, everyone can find me on DarkSKY Files if you just search that on YouTube, and anything I can't really put on YouTube, I've been throwing over on Rumble. I've got a bunch of documents and archives and an open server on Gmail or up in Google where I share a bunch of documentation I've collected over the years. So anyone interested, reach out and go from there.
So some of the most interesting clips from documentaries that you've probably never even seen, or you may have seen at some point, you'll find on DarkSKY Files. I don't know where you get them all from, mate, but it's nice to have them. So
I appreciate
go check him out. He is in the description, and like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell as well for any of the creators that are on YouTube. Make sure you, including myself, if you haven't hit the bell because YouTube, when you subscribe, you literally is just like it puts me in your group of people, but it doesn't necessarily give you a notification to say that we're going live or if I put any information out there. And UAP UK Josh, let the people know what you're doing and where they can find you and what you do.
Sure. I mean, so I'm most active on Instagram, so a bit like DarkSKY Files, I like to post a lot of old stuff as well. So my main passion with this is going through old cases, clipping up old bits of documentary, TV shows and things and posting those. I mean, I'm working on some stuff. I've got a couple of interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks, which I can't announce yet, but if you just keep a track of my Instagram page, I'll probably announce those soon. I'm doing some stuff with Artemis as well, which is going to be exciting in the next few weeks. Yeah, so just stay tuned. But yeah, in terms of myself, I'm most active on Instagram, but you can find me on Twitter as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Josh, I'm gonna have to come and have a pint with you in Leeds or something. But boys,
yeah,
it's been a nice show, and I hope nobody's thought that we're bickering, because we're not bickering. It's just we all have to do it. I know you are, Loz. I know you are, but
everyone has different opinions. I think it was great that we were able to openly talk and come to an agreement at the end. So yeah, all good.
Who is this guy in the chat just spamming his our woman? Someone's
Hot girls
spamming
and
their,
boys,
yeah. Mate, we're not interested. We're only interested in aliens here, and they've got no genitalia. So
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
somebody, one of the mods ban them, please, on the channel. But yeah, folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight. There will be a show next week. I'll be honest with you. At last minute, I will think of a bullshit title for a show, and I will get some guests on, and I will wing it. That will be the show. So that's how this channel works. So good night, God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. I'm Alien Addict. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and oh yeah, because my wife keeps telling me to do this because she's addicted to money. Go check out my designs on Teespring because I've got 3 designs up: t-shirts, drinks, you name it. And there is a brand new logo, which is the AA, which is on the back of some of the designs and will be on its own in the future on some shirts, which will just have the AA. So you better go out on a night out and not look like a geek with an alien on your shirt, but just a little AA, and people go like, "Oh, what's that?" That's Alien Addict. Oh, they'll think it's that perfume. But yeah, good night, God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite.
Bye.
Like, share, subscribe. Check out all the links, and don't be bell ends to people. Be nice.